It all comes down to this. The Outlaws Sim Series Gunman truck season comes to a close tonight. Four drivers take on the Atlanta Motor Speedway for what may be the final time in its current form. Tire life at a premium, grip being scarce, 254 miles to settle it all. Last season's champion Seth Berger is here to defend his title. This season's hot shots, Joseph Causey and Greg Holt, with 4 wins apiece, will put the teammates head-to-head one final time this season and leave it up to the ever-so-consistent strategy guru himself, Jeremiah Stutzman, to sneak his way into the championship 4. 4 drivers, all with something to prove, ready to do battle tonight in a race like no other. The Outlaws Sim Series Gunman Truck Season Finale is on Pit Stop TV, and it starts right now. Good evening all, and welcome to the virtual Hampton, Georgia. Devin Zimmerman joins me on the call this evening, and Andrew Cardinale IV is down on pit road. And Devin, tonight, there's a highly competitive championship 4, and a venue that's ready to undergo some major revisions in the near future. But I guess first, let's see where everybody stands coming into tonight's race.
Yes, sir, Emerson. It is championship night here on the Outlaws Sim Series Gunman Truck Series on Pit Stop TV. It is so wonderful to bring you this. As you can see on the screen, the 2 top heavy hitters, Joseph Causey and Greg Holt, each with 4 wins, are gunning for the championship tonight. Jeremiah Stutzman, the strategic extraordinaire, as you mentioned in the opening, he is going for it as well with 2 wins. And defending champion Seth Berger is here to defend his championship after a monster win at Talladega to lock himself into the championship 4. These guys have been pushing so hard all season long through very tough, rigorous regular season, and they are here finally. It is time to crown the season champion. It cannot be more exciting. Just missing out, though, Seth Fitzpatrick, Max Service in heartbreaking fashion, Tyler Markle, who led most of the race last week at Bristol and just missed out, having been collected in a middle of the race wreck and not able to recover. Kyle Lingerfeld, Joshua Lanfox, Brad Bothwell, James Gilliam, Matthew Setzer, and Farron Elam Jr. all knocked out in previous rounds. And then we have, Devin Smith, Jesse Adams. Devin Smith getting the win last week, by the way. Jesse Adams, Doug Solms, Andrew Pratt, Randall Barnett, Brad Richardson, and Jason Miz all missing out on the playoffs. Again, the star beside Devin Smith, he won last week at Bristol, taking at home his first win of the season in the Outlaw Sim Series in dramatic fashion, holding off his teammate and also getting by Greg Holt at the end. What a thrilling race that was. And because this is the championship race tonight at Atlanta, it can only get more intense. It is going to be an amazing race.
Absolutely. There's a whole lot in this graphic. Of course, Devin Smith, with his win last week, he secures 14th in the standings. There's really no way he can go any higher than 14th, and even tonight, if he didn't show up tonight, he will stay in that 14th position at the point. So Devin Smith has, gone as high as he can. On the other hand, the battle for 5th is alive and well. Seth Fitzpatrick, Max Service, only 1 point between them. That is a battle to keep in mind tonight. Who is best of the rest in that, in that playoff conversation? But tonight, the championship 4. 12 wins between 4 drivers, 4 to Causey and Holt, 2 to Stutzman and Seth Berger. Now, Seth, it's intriguing. He's here to defend his title. This season hasn't been, the season we saw to Seth Berger last season. This season, Seth Berger, he won at Rockingham, the second race of the season, and at Talladega to get himself into the championship 4. So if there's any sort of an underdog, which is crazy to say the defending champion is an underdog, but Seth Berger may be the underdog. But tonight, it's all about who crosses the finish line first. There are stages tonight, but the championship 4 drivers, they're not affected by stage points. It is first to the finish line at the end of lap 165 or whatever, if a checkered flag lap is, if we have overtime attempts. The end of the race, at last lap, the checkered flag, whoever is first to the checkered flag out of those top 4 drivers is the Outlaws Sim Series Gunman Truck Champion, and we will find that out tonight. And now, with that being said, Devin, the venue, the stage that we are at tonight, the Atlanta Motor Speedway, but the Atlanta Motor Speedway in its current form before the massive overhaul Atlanta's about to undergo. So one last time on this old pavement, the slipping and sliding, the grip really nowhere to be found and everywhere to search. It's going to be a fun night at Atlanta. Let's go ahead and look at the track map, why don't we?
Yeah, we'll look at the track map here. Atlanta Motor Speedway, the old configuration. It is being repaved currently. Like Emerson said, it is an amazing track to finish on. I remember back in the 90s, this track in its current, in a different configuration, not a tri-oval, so to speak, or a quad oval, so to speak. It was just a regular oval. But I remember Alan Kawicki winning his first championship here. Dale Earnhardt winning many of his championships at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This was always the finisher back then, and it is for the Gunman trucks again. Turns 1 and 2, 3 and 4, pretty identical. 3 and 4 end up being very loose, a little bit less banking in 3 and 4, but it can be very loose in and very tight off of 4. Turns 1 and 2 seem to be pretty wide open in these trucks. You can pretty much get it down to the bottom and just hold it. A lot of good grip in turns 1 and 2 as opposed to 3 and 4. Pit road entry is a bit tricky. Getting into pit road, if we're under green flag conditions, you're going to have to time it right. We've seen in previous races here in some different leagues with championship implications that getting into this pit road can be a bit of a precarious situation. If you brake a little late, you can loop it around very easily, as the pavement difference between the apron and the actual racing surface can upset the balance of the car and spin you around very easily. The exit also is very tricky. Barely clipping that white line, iRacing will provide a penalty if you're not careful. You have to keep all 4 wheels below that white line. Just touching it can upset the iRacing simulator here. So being very careful there on the exit of pit road, being very careful on the entrance of pit road. Really don't want to see that happen to any of the drivers tonight going for the championship, but it could play a factor in that championship race if there are any mistakes on pit road. We've seen it before, Emerson. Pit road mistakes can come back and haunt you.
Absolutely. Pit road can make or break tonight's championship. I also want to bring your attention to what's on the left side of your screen. We have, of course, a bunch of the lap records here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Tonight, the trucks are what we're featuring tonight, the open setup trucks on the track tonight. Rick Crawford with the fastest lap set in March 2005 at a 30.339. These trucks right now in practice, they are they're not at that time. They're a couple tenths off, but the 30.339 is the time. We might see these drivers try to hit in that qualifying session tonight, so be careful about that time, because these open setup trucks may be able to surprise you. And with these being trucks, again, the speed difference between a truck and versus the Xfinity car and the Cup Series vehicle, you'll notice it in the corners. These trucks can carry a little bit more speed into the corner. You don't have to lift as much. Of course, lifting is going to be the name of the game to preserve your right front tire, and of course that left rear. But you don't have to do nearly as much as compared to the Cup vehicle or the Xfinity Series vehicle. And pit lane, the pit entry, we've seen it, as you mentioned. Just get a little too much speed in there, and around you go, and boom, you lose so much time to your competitors, and that's essentially your season over. Also, sliding through the pit box is it's something you have to keep an eye on, of course, because of the lack of tire grip you have. These are some of the most worn tires you'll see all season long, and sliding through your pit box is so easy to do on those old tires.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and also the pit surface, the actual pit box surface, is different than the rest of the surface on the track. It is the old concrete surface in the pit road, not on the pit road itself in the driving lane, but in the box itself. So very easy to slide through that box, similar to Bristol, where it's very easy to slide through the box, being that it is concrete. So you just got to watch that on pit road. You got to be careful pretty much all night long. Protect the right front tire, protect the rear tires. We don't say that a lot, to protect the rear tires, but It's very easy to light them up coming off these turns by trying to get full throttle as quickly as you can. You think you can go full throttle a lot easier, especially on the long run, than you actually can. And if you light up the rear tires, you just spin them just a bit, but that can cost you a couple tenths down the front stretch or the back stretch at Atlanta here. So we might see some different lines. There are different lines you can take around Atlanta. You can run the high lane. We might see that as the passing lane tonight, but more than likely you're going to want to stay on the bottom as long as you can. But yeah, you are able to pass on the outside at Atlanta, so we might see some overtakes there. A little bit different from any other track where you always want to pass on the bottom. So we could see some great side-by-side racing, and I expect that the 4 championship contenders are going to be right around each other pretty much the entire night, and it's going to be some fireworks between all 4 of them, and we'll get to that later. But man, I just can't contain the excitement of seeing the top 4 drivers finally here, finally at Atlanta, to compete for this championship.
Absolutely. Really quickly, you can just go through the journey we've had so far this season. And the first race of the season at Daytona, the first race we had here on Pit Stop TV, a points train race at Daytona, 100 laps. Jason Miz taking that one with the help of all of his Performance Sim Sport teammates. And then Seth Berger taking it away from the Performance Sim Sport boys at Rockingham. Stutzman stealing it away overtime at Homestead. I mean, the list can go on and on. We can go down through the season. We were, a name we haven't heard in a bit, took it at Auto Club. Kazi got his first win at Phoenix. Las Vegas was where we saw Greg Holt get his second Las Vegas win in the Outlaws Sim Series. The Bristol Dirt Race saw Farron Elam Jr. finding his way into the playoffs. Martinsville, Watkins Glen, New Hampshire, just that trio of tracks heading into the 2.5 mile tri-oval at Pocono. I mean, the race by race schedule, not really any continuity, no chance for you to kind of just take a break and really kind of settle in. You always have to be on your toes this season, and so the 4 drivers that we have tonight really are the best of the best, the ones who could keep up with the fast pace and ever so changing track type week in, week out.
Yeah, exactly. And this season also saw some big streaks broken. Those that come to mind: Max Service finally getting a win in over 40 races, breaking that streak at Pocono. And then the very next week at Dover, Tyler Markle breaking his streak of winlessness, and he takes it home there with the help of some great strategy calls from him. And then we got into the playoffs. I mean, Kansas, Kentucky, Texas, all mile and a halves, all very different, but dominated by Performance Sim Sports, getting both of their drivers in all the way to the second round. Charlotte, Roval, Talladega, and Bristol, again, some great tracks that we had. Dega comes to mind, some amazing racing from these drivers, and Seth Berger, with the help of his team, come home 1, 2, 3 and get Seth into the playoffs. Bristol, we thought, was going to be a big playoff implication race, and it was just that. Tyler Markle leading the majority of the laps out front pretty much by himself with the help of his Dark Horse Racing teammates, and then some lap cars. As they always do at Bristol, lap cars just seem to be there in the way, and Tyler Markle has trouble with the lap vehicle and ends up being taken out of the race for the most part, involved in a wreck, and the truck was unable to be recovered to get back to the front. So he saw his playoff chances end there when he looked all but certain that he would bring it home. But his Dark Horse Racing teammate, Devin Smith, got the win, and I think that was his first win in Outlaws.
Yeah, it was. It is Outlaws Sim Series, first career victory. And with that being said, it's just every race. We've had an amazing spectacle for one reason or another. And tonight I expect it to not be any different, being it is the bow on the season, the championship race. So much is on the line tonight, and some new names at the top of the practice charts. But don't go anywhere. On the far side of this break, we'll wrap up our pre-race coverage, a special gift, a special surprise for all you viewers out there, and for the championship 4 drivers on the far side of this break, and much, much more. And of course, the qualifying and the race, the championship season finale on the far side of this break. Don't you go anywhere.
Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway, the virtual Hampton, Georgia, the site of the Outlaws Sim Series Gunman Truck season finale. The Championship 4 ready to do battle tonight, but not only that, of course, all the other drivers in the Outlaws Sim Series field still have their fair shot to go at it for a race victory tonight at the 1.54 mile unique quad oval. And I say unique because even though it's shaped like a quad oval, it does not race like any of the other quad ovals we have on the NASCAR circuit. We talked a lot about that again prior to the break in going over the track map and all that good stuff. But of course tonight we have to give a huge shout out to all of our partners here at Pit Stop TV and make things going around like Tucson Sound Art, your picture, your music. Use promo code PitStopTV at checkout for 10% off of your wall-mounted sound art device today. The holidays are coming. Go ahead and check out TucsonSoundArt.com for the amazing gift ideas of a high-quality canvas with a built-in Bluetooth speaker. Again, it really is a unique product, and I'm sure no matter who you get it for, they will appreciate it greatly. I mean, you get to hear sounds out of a picture on a canvas. I mean, how cool is that? Of course, when it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. With locations in Auburn, Lewiston, Naples, and Saco, Maine, Permanent Makeup and Cryo in-Maine owner Ashley Bollier is a certified micropigmentation specialist who provides professional, safe, and personalized services. You can contact Permanent Makeup and Cryo Maine at permanentmakeupinmaine.com, or you can call or text them at 207-358-8683. And of course, Whiplash Media specializes in various sim racing resources, including paint schemes, stream overlays, iRacing camera packs, and more. You remember at the very beginning of the broadcast, that beautiful, beautiful cinematic shots of the Atlanta Motor Speedway? Yep, that was Whiplash Media. Andrew Carnelli IV put in a lot of time earlier today and yesterday to put together some beautiful B-roll to bring us just another amazing element to these Pit Stop TV broadcasts. And I cannot thank Andrew Carnelli IV enough for making these broadcasts here at Pit Stop TV just look amazing week in and week out. Again, Whiplash Media, www.pitstoptv.com. Check them out, of course. The official graphic and camera provider of Pit Stop TV at www.pitstoptv.com. That's where you can grab your iBroadcast cameras and more today. And of course, a huge shout out to our friends at BAM Racing Videos. Buy a race fan for a racing community. Go ahead and check them out on Facebook for a large dose of some high quality short track racing content. BAM Racing Videos is where to find it all. And now, Devin, practice coming to a close. Just 4 minutes left in the practice session. Take a glance at the times tonight. There's a lot of things to consider when coming to the Atlanta Motor Speedway. A lot of things for our Championship 4 to keep in mind. And there's somebody who is very known, or who is really good with delivering keys to the race. And I think I might just let them do that job for us. So here's the special message brought to you from NASCAR on Fox analyst Larry McReynolds.
Hey gang, Larry McReynolds here with NASCAR on Fox. I hope everybody is safe and well and that 2021 has been a great year for everyone. Now I hear there is a huge race coming up for you guys. The Outlaws Sim Series Championship race. In the Final Four, congratulations Jeremiah, Greg, Joseph, and Seth. You guys are going to have an amazing race, and I'd be willing to bet as competitive as the four of you have been all year, it's going to go right down to the wire. Now, I hear you want my keys to the race. A 165-lap truck race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Now, I'm going to assume this is the old Atlanta Motor Speedway, the old configuration with the old asphalt, not what's being reconfigured with all that grip being laid with fresh asphalt. You know, the old Atlanta Motor Speedway, one of the trickiest mile-and-a-half tracks we go to. With the grip level that's there, it's almost like a hybrid. It's not relative to anything. So here would be old Larry Mack's keys to the race there for Atlanta Motor Speedway. First and foremost is don't try to get too much early. Yeah, you may go out there and lead this thing and be fast, but you're going to pay the price late into a run. You're going to use your tires up, so be patient early. Save a little bit for the end of a long run. Secondly, think about how Kevin Harvick has won all those races at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Hugging the bottom of the racetrack. That yellow line at the bottom, it's your best friend. But with that said, if it's not working, third key, don't be afraid to move around. Maybe move up to the middle. Maybe move up to the top. It may be different in turns 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Whatever makes the most speed and gives you the most grip. And lastly, when you've got 4 fresh tires on that old truck, you get all you can on a restart. Restarts there, like most places, they are absolutely insane. So hopefully that helps a little bit. Hopefully it is the old Atlanta Motor Speedway. But regardless, Jeremiah, Greg, Joseph, and Seth, good luck. Congratulations on being in the Final Four. And may happy holidays come to you and your families, and 2022 be a great year for all. More than important, if anything, be safe and take care.
And of course, a great deal as always goes with that Adam Gardner setting amazing message up from NASCAR and Fox analyst Larry McReynolds. He did this last season, of course, for the championship finale, and decided to bring it back this season. And you just can't fake Adam Gardner enough for having us be able to deliver that to y'all. With Larry McReynolds' keys to the race here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's really, really cool. Something like no other, really. But here we go. We're into the final minute of practice, and right before we get into qualifying, here we're going to send it to Andrew Carnelli IV down on pit road with some late breaking stories.
Thanks, Emerson. And for the first time, I can say thank you, Larry Mack. He did a lot of my job for me right there already with his keys to the race. Really appreciate that from Larry McReynolds. We've all looked up to him, right, over the last 20 years. Anyways, this race is going to be tough on these drivers, on these trucks. A lot of what Larry Mack just said right there, in fact, all of it is true. And drivers already have their kind of game plans a little bit, their ideas of how they want to approach this race. And all I can tell you right now is that it's varying a lot, and there's different kind of mixed feelings throughout the garage, at least in this Final Four, as to how they're going to do. Jeremiah Stutzman basically even saying it feels like the big three and me, referring, of course, to himself and back to 2018 when it was Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, I want to say Kyle Busch, and Joey Logano. It feels a lot like that to him. He feels like Joey Logano in that situation. He feels like he's got to be chasing these guys all night long. So already, it seems like Jeremiah Stutzman feels like he's on the back foot. Is just going to ride around, approach this race a bit like Larry Mack said, easy early, and work his way up through the field as time goes on, see what he can get out of it. And those other three guys, they're going to have to go up there and maximize their qualifying efforts, try and start up front, or we'll see how they do now.
Yeah, absolutely. The qualifying session is now ticked over here. We're getting ready to see these time trials out of these trucks again. 3 timed laps for each truck in the field tonight, should they elect to take them, of course. And they're all going for that Pratt, Tile, and Stone pole award. Pratt, Tile, and Stone, of course, serving Central Vermont since 2005. And in the qualifying here, Devin, we know that all of that, lifting and preserving that tire life, that's all great and all, that's all for the race. But here in qualifying, it's wide open, get all you can get, but without spinning that truck out. Man, that's so easy to do.
Yeah, it is, especially here at Atlanta. Like Larry Mack said, is a very old, very, very slippery surface. So in qualifying, when you're trying to go to the limit, put the truck on the limit, you got to be careful. If you step over the limit, it's going to snap and you could hit the wall. Luckily, we do have 3 laps here as we see the number 3 truck taking to the track right now. Greg Holt, one of our championship 4, go ahead and get out there on the track and see what he can do. But like I said, they have 3 laps. If you kind of mess up the first lap, you have 2 more. You can come in and what iRacing does, you can reset the truck and basically have another free 2 laps on a brand new truck. Just a perk of iRacing there. But it seems like that second lap, you want to set up the first lap, and then that second lap is the lap that's really going to have the time on it. Maybe the third lap as well, as the tires get up to temperature and more grip is funneled through the tires. Of course, luckily we don't have to start on these tires because those 3 laps are going to be on the limit, and those tires will be shredded at the end of it. But man, it's going to be letting it all hang out for everything right here. You want to be up front if you're these 3 guys. Get out front, stay out front, like Andrew said before. And we're going to see the first lap here coming up for Greg Holt.
Greg Holt is going to be the first driver to set a time on the board. An important thing to note, there's only a few drivers out there on the track right now. Make it 5 drivers on the track at the moment taking time, which is very rare here in the Outlaws Sim Series to see. And there's a reason for that. And let's see if we get it here. There is a reason for that. Greg Holt now 3rd on the charts as more times come in. Let's go ahead and take a look at the weather at this very moment. The track temp is 112 degrees. On top of the aged surface, that is a very hot track temp. And these drivers, they're waiting to see if that track temperature drops so they can try to get the most out of their trucks.
Yep, that is definitely something that a lot of these guys are going to do. Here comes Joseph Causey now, waiting just a little bit longer than his teammate Greg Holt. Coming out just a bit later, see if that track temp would drop any. It doesn't look like it has since the start of the session. So he's going to come out now and try to get himself into position to be up at the front. And Matthew Setzer beats out Greg Holt by 0.012 of a second to get himself on the pole position currently. But again, the 88 truck, the 77, they all got to go out here and get it done. Let's see if Joseph Causey can be the guy to go to the top.
Joseph Causey in that blue, white, and lime green Hellman's truck now picking up the speed down the back straightaway. Let's ride on board and see what Joseph Causey is going through in that 88 truck as he tries to put this thing as high up the running order as he can prior to tonight's race.
Yeah, he runs the high line on that lap 1 to get as much speed in the truck as possible. A little bit different than his teammate Greg Holt. Greg decided to run the normal racing line during his first lap. This line, though, Greg Holt puts it right down on the bottom of the racetrack, all the way down, holding it. You see it, it wants to kick out. The back end wants to step out from under him, but he's able to hold it. again, getting down into the center of the turn, trying to get it down to the white line. Not able to do so, not all the way down, kind of runs the middle there. It's out of 4, missing the wall. It does push a bit off of 4 and to the line.
Joseph Kazi will go third quickest, right behind teammate Greg Holt. And now we're seeing a little bit more movement out of these drivers. Max Service, a driver who was in the playoffs up until last Wednesday, coming out onto the racetrack along with last week's winner, Devin Smith, getting up to speed down the back straightaway here in that McDonald's number 95 Ford F-150.
Yeah, Devin Smith coming on strong at the end of the season. Matthew Setzer also coming on strong here late in the season as well. He was in the playoffs, had a bad first round, but he's been kind of just hanging around, doing good finishes lately, and he's able to possibly get another one here to set himself up for next season. That's kind of what these guys not in the championship for need to do. Get some momentum on their side for next season so they can come back stronger and ready to fight for next season's championship.
Here we go. Driver of the number 77, Seth Berger, the Outlaws Sim Series inaugural champion. Last season, back in May, secured the championship back in the Xfinity car at Kansas. Here he comes, getting up to speed in a very similar paint scheme. This paint scheme is actually done to resemble that Xfinity paint scheme he ran last season at Kansas. Here he is once again, ready to do battle in that number 77 Liftworks Trans Depot Berg Arts Chevrolet Silverado.
Yeah, and he runs down to the bottom, putting it right to the white line, barely clipping it in the center of the turn. Gets off very steady and smooth is that truck right now as he goes down into turn 3. Let's see what he does here. He's going to run high to try and get as much speed as possible in the truck for that second lap. Kind of a similar idea to what Joseph Kazi does. He dives it off, trying to use the banking to get more speed in the truck as he takes his second lap.
Seth Berger now is going to be wide open, getting into turn 1 here, only losing speed because of scrubbing the tires, trying to get down to that white line, fighting the race truck as he wants to dart up the racetrack, trying to keep the speed in as he rides down the back straightaway up against that outside wall into turn 3, back down to the bottom side, trying to work that white line. Seth Berger now on that first scene, coming off of turn number 4, trying to see where he puts this number 77 Chevrolet Silverado into the line. Seth Berger will go 8th quickest.
Yeah, and he's still going for a third lap here. He set himself up to try and go for a third lap, keeping it down on the bottom as long as he can. Missed the bottom in 3 and 4. A little wiggle out of the truck as he comes off 2. Let's see what he has in 3 and 4, if he can pick up any more speed.
Seth Berger trying to get down there. It's very difficult to get down there, even though they're wide open. To get down there and not hit the white line, it's a difficult balance. And Seth Berger that time around, does he improve? He'll go 5th quickest. He's going to be 1 spot behind 2 of his championship contenders.
Yeah, Seth Berger, not really, we haven't seen him qualify the best this season. He's been the guy who wants to save the truck for the long run, but we do know that those performance sim sports trucks do always seem to bring a very good 1.5 mile package to these tracks. So I expect to see a big battle out of those 3. Jeremiah Stutzman now on the track.
The final of the championship 4 drivers to take time in this session. One of the latest entrants into the qualifying session. Stutzman going to use that high side, get as much speed as he can. And I think the first lap we're seeing at a lot of these drivers is a throwaway. You saw Seth Berger even shut the truck off on his first lap. Very intriguing strategy there. Seth went 5th quickest as the result of it. But here comes Stutzman. I'm not imagining this first lap is going to mean too much to Stutzman's time, but let's see what he does as he tries to chase the truck up the track. Nearly loses it, trying to catch it down the back straightaway up onto the apron. That might have lit the tires up. Let's see what Stutzman does here.
Yeah, he's trying to get speed back up now in the truck. It doesn't look like he's going to do that. Very slow off of 4. Maybe going to take it easy and set the next lap up, go for it on his 3rd lap.
I guess that's what's going on. Because right there, he's at a 37.206. I know he got sideways, but that I don't think was his official attempt at lap. I think he's trying to get the tires back up to temperature. cool him off a little bit if they got lit up in that slide. And I think now he's going to pick the throttle back up, go at it again. Is he going to have time is the next question.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to make it to the line. 31 seconds is where we've been sitting with these trucks, and he's going to come to the line, almost collects the wall again, and he's only got 20 seconds to get around.
That's going to do it. He will not set a lap time. Devin, there's no other drivers on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's right. So I think for the first time this season, we can award the season finale, Pratt Tile and Stone Award, to Matthew Setzer in the number 5 truck. The first time we've called his name this season as the pole sitter, the winner of the Pratt Tile and Stone Pole Award. Congratulations to Matthew Setzer. And thank you very much to Pratt Tile and Stone for, again, a second season in a row sponsoring the the pole award here on Outlaw Sim Series. Pratt Tile and Stone, serving Central Vermont since 2005.
Absolutely. We have a starting line to go through quickly before we get into tonight's championship finale race. And it's a non-playoff driver, non-championship contender, Matthew Setzer, qualifying on the pole, as Devin mentioned there. Greg Holt to his outside to make up row number 1. Greg Holt, the highest of the championship contenders, with his teammate and fellow championship competitor Joseph Causey there in second, inside row 2. Jason Miz to his outside. Row 3, another championship driver there in 5th, Seth Berger. James Gilliard to his outside there in 6th. Row 4, it'll be Kyle Lingerfeld and Devin Smith, a couple Dark Horse Racing trucks in row 4. And in row number 5, Joshua Gaffright and Max Service.
Yeah, then row number 6, we see Andrew St. Coeur and Benjamin Park in the outside there in the 23. Row number 7, Jeremiah Stutzman and Landon Lacey in the 53, making his final start here in the Outlaw Sim Series. Seth Fitzpatrick in the 15 and Tyler Markle in the 16, coming back, trying to get some momentum after the heartbreak last week. And then in row number 9, John Mickey and Garrett Velzy in the 48. And then finally, or not finally, but in row number 10, Andrew Pratt and Randall Barnett in the 63. They will be starting kind of far back, not choosing to take part in qualifying.
At the back of the field, we'll have Joshua Lane Fox, Matt Rogers, final row, Eric Peck, and Doug Solms. Real quickly here, before we get going, Andrew Cardinale IV has some more stories before we get to green flag racing. Andrew?
The first thing has to be Jeremiah Stutzman and his qualifying run. That was not at all what you want for a championship run. That said, like I said earlier, he feels like it's a big 3 in him. He didn't expect much off of the truck. We'll see how he does in the opening few laps here, of course. Greg Holt and Joseph Causey starting up front. That feels like Greg Holt and Joseph Causey, right? They have gone back and forth on a lot of these intermediates throughout the season, and I would expect more of the same. And if you go back, in fact, the most recent intermediate winner, that was Joseph Causey, now starting from 3rd, right behind his championship rival and teammate Greg Holt, who won the 2 intermediate races before that. So these guys, they know what they're doing on these intermediates, and they've got Seth Berger right behind. That bottom row right now with Matthew Setzer choosing the top side for the start of this race, the best 3 championship contenders in this series. They're all starting from the bottom. That could play an impact. Of course, Larry Mack says to go to the bottom, but also don't be afraid to move around. Don't be afraid to try that top side.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andrew, once again for the brilliant work on pit lane. Before we get going here tonight, once again, quick shout out to Tucson Sound, our permanent makeup in Cryo and Maine, Whiplash Media, BAM Racing Videos for all of their work with Pit Stop TV this season. It's time to decide the Outlaws Sim Series Gunman Truck Champion as the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety in the pit lane, and we are racing from Hotlanta. Near contact there for the teammates. Joseph Causey tailing Greg Holt very closely on that tailgate into turns 3 and 4. Causey not giving his teammate any breathing room on lap number 1.
He is not, and it looks like Greg Holt just did not take off on the start of the race. Very slow going through the front stretch there on the green flag was Greg Holt. Luckily, they are able to recover back up to second and third and not lose too much time. However, Seth Berger will have to file back in line behind the 24 truck of Jason Miz, not able to clear him like the 88 and the 3 were.
To the race lead goes Greg Holt. Matthew Setzer leads lap 1. It's Greg Holt leading lap 2 here at Atlanta and taking the early lead here in the season finale race here at Atlanta. The fastest lap goes to Greg Holt. Kazi was able to get cleared by Matthew Setzer. Setzer trying to fight back to the inside of the 88 down the back straightaway. They all file back in line. Jason Miz, the other Performance Sim Sport truck up there. Matthew Setzer, the lone dark horse truck.
Yeah, Matthew Setzer just hanging on to the coattails of these Performance Sim Sports drivers as they try to break away from the field, make it a 2-horse race between the 2 teammates. Seth Berger falls back behind Devin Smith here. Looks like he's already taken the strategy of Larry Mack said in the opener of just take it easy on the tires and save it for the long run. We've seen Seth Berger do this in the past. It looks like he is doing that again as now he's falling into the clutches of Joshua Gathright. Gathright make a move down to the inside of turns 3 or 4. And a long meth with the 81 as well. Is something wrong with the 77 truck?
This may be an attempt early to save some equipment. Now, you don't want to fall too far behind your championship competitors, but if this is going to, make you the most prime driver towards the end of these tire stints, this may be the way to go. Max Service is not going to give his teammate Seth Berger any hard times when Seth wants to try to come back through the field. Maybe Seth is just trying to feel it out, but Seth Berger trying to put this race together starting from lap 1, trying to keep those tires under him as he works early on, completing lap 5 here, this time by the start-finish line.
Yeah, he's already from 5th starting position all the way back to 8th now. In dramatic fashion, the 33 truck of James Gilliard also putting pressure on the 77 truck, as well as Benjamin Park there in 10th place. So if Seth's not careful, he can see himself outside of the top 10 very quickly here, as here comes the 95 of Devin Smith making a move to the inside of his teammate there in the 5 truck. He's trying to go for the race lead early. He's going to try and get up there and see what he can do with Joseph Kazi and Greg Holt.
Yeah, how about last week's winner, Devin Smith, showing some speed early here the next week. And maybe, maybe one win is all you do need. Maybe that was the determining factor. Maybe Devin Smith just needed that added motivation to go toe-to-toe with some of these drivers. He's going right at it with teammate Matthew Setzer, but he's right there on the tailgate of Joseph Kazi and Greg Holt, 2 of the most dominant drivers on the season. Devin Smith now trying to put into work as Setzer got cleared by Devin Smith there on the outside of 3 and 4, and that's intriguing. We're gonna see these lanes come into effect tonight. I hear a lot about the highest side of 1 and 2, the bottom in 3 and 4 is the way to go. But Devin, of course, that can change in a heartbeat. With cloud cover and just where your other traffic is running.
Yeah, it can. You want to keep the fresh air on the nose as much as possible. You don't want to be stuck in dirty air. Very much like the Cup car here, the truck, if you are caught in the dirty air, it can push very hard off the turns, a lot more than it normally does. You just chew up your right front tire in that, where you just have to turn the wheel more. So you don't want that to happen. If a guy's running the same lane as you, you might want to do what Larry Mack said in his last key point there, which is move around the racetrack. Try to find somewhere else where your truck works best to keep up with the guy in front of you and potentially get past him.
Only 9 laps in here at Atlanta. It is the Performance Sim Sport Championship duo of Greg Holt and Joseph Kazi at the front of the field, and Andrew Cardinale IV has some early developments from pit road.
Yeah, already a lot of buzz in the Performance Sim Sport group themselves, specifically. Already a lot of talk about maybe overheating in this race. A lot of drivers in that group with that setup in particular already experiencing temperatures pretty high. Of course, track temp, it's up there. In qualifying, it was sitting at 112, 113 even by the end of the session. It's warm. These trucks, the engines, they're noticing it. The drivers are noticing their gauges blinking red at them. Greg Holt seemed to kind of calm the rest of his team down a little bit. Say, all right, you got a little bit of room before you actually, start to damage the motor, but also clutch if you have to. So already these drivers having to work temperatures, and that's not fun at all as a driver to have to work temperatures on, what is this, lap 10 or so?
Yeah, we're working lap 11, and you heard there in 1 and 2, Joseph Causey even clutched in at the center of the corner to try to preserve some temperature, and even gave Greg Holt a little bit of breathing room there to not, clutter up the front end of his truck here. We'll see if he does the same thing here in the turns 1 and 2 again. As he closes up on Greg Holt, looks like Causey may have calmed the temperature issue down in his truck, but that is very intriguing to find out this early into the race. Usually that gets synonymously brought up with qualifying tape being left on the truck, but these setups may be just having a little too much tape on those trucks. We'll see if they can hang in there for 165 laps.
Yeah, luckily that's something you can adjust at the pit stop. You can have have your team remove some of that tape during the pit stop, but you got to get there first. You have to get to that pit stop. You do not want the truck to blow up before that pit stop if you are having trouble. So yeah, clutching it is the way. Just nurse it to the pit stop, and then you can make some changes if need to. But when you remove tape, it is going to really tighten that truck up. So you're not going to have as much speed, as there's a couple trucks in the wall back in the back there. I think the 96 truck up against the wall in turn 4. No caution. We stay green. Yeah, just a couple trucks kind of getting up into the wall there. I believe I saw the 96. No. Yeah, they just kind of hit the wall, kind of rode it around in turn 4, get off the racing line. We stay green. They never stopped moving. We'll have to see what happened here. I believe it started on the backstretch.
Yeah, I believe so as well. We'll try to see what happened here. And oh, wow, big time. Oh, man, big impacts to the outside wall there. We stay green. My goodness, big impacts there for Doug Solms and Matt Rogers.
Yeah, they kept the trucks rolling, so we were able to stay green. Not vindictive or needing a caution for that one. Luckily, nobody spinning around. But that's something that the Performance Sim Sports guys might have wanted here, so they could get that tape removed. So it kind of may have hurt them here. Oh, Doug Solms, I'm not sure what happened there. Just loose, and then when he went down, the 96 truck was there. Matt Rogers has had some of the worst luck all season long in the Outlaw Sim Series, just being involved since Daytona. Pretty much the first incident at Daytona here. And then, he's just kind of found trouble pretty much the rest of the way, and very unfortunate for him and his chances to pick up some momentum entering next season. But here we are with Seth Berger. He's trying to catch this group in front of him running side by side. Looks like the speed in his truck's finally coming to life here after about 17 laps.
Yeah, Seth Berger playing the long haul here at Atlanta in a group of 5 trucks right up ahead of them. There's a couple of Dark Horse trucks, a couple of Performance Sim Sport trucks, and James Gilliard in that group as well from B&G Motorsports. Seth Berger just trying to join this squad, put his Swift Racing truck up there, and see how he compares against some of the other setups in the field tonight. Devin Smith running at a high side on Chase and Miz. Gilliard trying to either take it 3 wide or just keep some clean air there to the middle. Now they're kind of looking 3 wide. Smith had the advantage on Gilliard on the top side. But, Seth wants to stay with this pack in best interest of trying to stay with Holt and Causey way up the road. But he doesn't want to get involved in an early incident. Oh, James Gilliard sideways on the bottom side of the racetrack. He's got to keep that car going straight into 3 and 4. He'll do so. Seth now chooses the line directly behind Gilliard. That could have been huge.
Yeah, and that's one thing that the 77 does not want to see is guys, losing it right in front of him where he has nowhere to go. And these trucks, again, both lanes blocked here. Seth looks to the high side, looks to the middle, just trying to find a way around these guys. The speed in that truck is finally woken up. And, James Gilliard again, loose off to 2.
That is huge. And I know Seth Berger, he was just in a championship race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. To add to that, by the way, on Sunday, it was in the Cup vehicle, and he got involved in an early accident after a restart there on the back straightaway. I know he is thinking He is thinking back to that race. Every time he sees somebody get loose in front of him, he does not want to be taken out. Well, nobody wants to be taken out in an incident, but he would hate. I mean, that would absolutely be devastating for a similar thing to take him out, you know, in the span of 4 days. There goes Jason Miz right in front of Seth Berger. Oh my goodness.
And I can tell you exactly what that is, and I mentioned it in the opener. You're lighting up the rear tires, thinking that you have more speed in the truck and you can pick it up a lot sooner than you can, especially when the tires get worn here at Atlanta, and you cannot do that. When you light up the rear tires in these trucks, it just spins the truck out. You end up spinning the rear tires, and you just go around, and that is exactly what we're seeing here. These guys who kind of went for it at the beginning of this race really burned off their rear tires in doing so, more so than the right front. And now we're seeing what the consequences of those actions are. You know, you're starting to get very loose off of the turns whenever you get anywhere near the throttle.
Sketchy driving out of a lot of these drivers. And I know it's to no fault of their own. It is part of the track and, you know, the nature of just wanting to put the throttle down to the floor and get as much as you can. But my goodness, everybody getting loose out of these corners. Devin Smith just loose on the straightaway. And you'll start to see that as these drivers, they start to whiz on by some of these static cameras on the catch fence and on the walls here around Atlanta Motor Speedway. You'll start to see these drivers struggle to keep it straight on the back straightaway just because of the tire wear and the bumps tossing and turning the truck and the tires not being able to keep that truck straight as much as they used to 23 laps ago. You'll start to see these drivers dance down the back straightaway. We'll see it here down the back straightaway again. Devin Smith sideways trying to get around Joshua Gaffrey.
Yeah, and that's just a product of those rear tires just getting worn. Whenever the throttle's being pushed down, you know, it just makes that rear end want to step out a little bit. The tires are starting to spin, just being balded, you know, by this very, very abrasive racetrack, this very old, bumpy Atlanta Motor Speedway. But that's what makes this track so much fun and such a good track to finish on.
And this right here,
a wonderful track to drive. We see that they almost lose it.
Oh, sets are in the background, and you're gonna hear it a lot. 20 laps into a run. Oh, this driver is sideways. Oh, that driver is sideways. And just because, even though we know what's gonna happen, you know, you don't know who and when it's gonna happen. But Devin Smith there now loses out to Gaffrey and Seth Berger. But for a moment there, what a battle it was between Gaffrey and Devin Smith. Devin Smith on the bottom side, Gaffrey on the top side, and they still came off the corners relatively even until Smith went around.
Yeah, they did, and we see Seth Berger really putting the pressure on Gath right now, down to the inside. He puts that truck on the left, on that white line, running it so beautifully, trying to do the Kevin Harvick line, like Larry Mack was saying, not able to get all the way to the bottom in 3 and 4, but still able to get to the inside of Joshua Gathright as they get off of 4, and it's just chaos
the pit lane.
These guys.
Ben Park on the bottom side of the racetrack now has an unsafe pit entry penalty running down the pit lane. I'd imagine he just got loose out of turn 4, and Ben Park will put it in the pit box, and we'll continue racing here as everybody's starting to struggle for grip. Devin Smith really dancing on the straightaways.
Yeah, and he's just trying to keep up with these guys in front of him now. Gathright, a Performance Sim Sports driver, running a little bit of a blocker here for the 2 teammates in front of him. Just holding up Seth Berger, not letting him have that outside line. It looks like that outside line does have a lot of speed in it still. Seth's really going to have to clear Gathright quickly if he wants to try and track down Causey and Holt. Oh, a little loose there from Gathright, but he's able to keep the speed in the truck, not let Seth Berger get up to the wall. This is really starting to frustrate Seth Berger, but it is letting the teammates of Joseph Causey and Greg Holt, that of Joshua Gathright, kind of skip away and continue to supplant their lead. It's almost 5 seconds now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as a team, that's all you really can do is, you know, hold up the rest of your competition. Of course, you don't want to, you know, take them out or anything, but, you know, Gaffrey, at the same time, he's running his race. This is one of his best results of the season thus far. He's running in the top 3, battling for 4th. Gaffrey would just love to finish up here just for his own sake.
Yeah, he would. He's had a very tough season and not had the same kind of success as his other teammates have had. but he is there tonight, and he is doing a magnificent job in third place here, just keeping Seth Berger at bay. And what it's doing is it just pinches the speed of Seth Berger. When you come off the turns, you want that truck to slide all the way up to the wall. That's how you maintain the speed down the straightaway. And with a truck on your outside, you're not able to do that. So the run is given to the truck on the outside.
Oh, Gaffright's pinning him down.
And Gaffright's starting to pin him down in the turns here. And that, again, is just limiting the speed of the 77 truck. And he gets a little loose there, does Seth Berger, off of 4.
And here comes Gilliard to try to take advantage of that. Oh, into the wall goes James Gilliard.
Ooh, that's not good for Gilliard there. Any aero damage at Atlanta is not going to be good, much like any other mile and a half. But Seth Berger, a big fight on his hands now, running that bottom line, just not able to get clear of any of these guys like he was earlier. And it's really starting to hurt his tires and hurt his race here early on in this race.
Yeah, Seth's got to do a lot of work. Earlier today, we didn't even mention, we're coming around to the stage break here in a couple laps. Completion of lap 33 will be the first stage points awarded today to the top 10. The Championship 4 drivers do not have to worry about stage points. For them, it is first to the finish line at the end of lap 165. And around goes a truck! It's Max Service going around in the back, trying to save it, trying not to hit that inside wall. He'll hold on to that number 81 machine, and wow, if you saw on the out of the peripherals of your screen, now Service is going around again on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Yeah, the tires are way overheated. He's just not able to do it, and there's a big clutter on the front stretch right in front of him. But man, that is some crazy stuff going on now. But man, yes, Max Service, Seth Berger's teammate, finding trouble here early. Back in the pack where, I mean, these guys were all battling.
Oh, we got a truck around!
Hard. Oh, multiple trucks around.
Oh, up and over!
Is that Seth Berger?
Berger might have been involved. Matt Rogers was on his side, and the caution's going to come out, and the stage will end. Seth Berger, does he have damage? Trying to see. Looks like Seth's truck may be okay.
Yeah, if he does have damage, I think it would be on the right side of that truck.
Gonna see what happened here between oh, Seth Berger made contact with Joshua Gaffright. And Gaffright right up the track. Oh my goodness, nowhere for Matt Rogers to go.
Hey, Gaffright and Seth Berger have had run-ins in the past. Several run-ins, several run-ins in the past, and Gaffright racing him very, very hard here early on in this race. We might have to back that up to see how this kind of all started. We kind of caught it in the middle there. Looks like this 27 loose off of 2. Seth.
Oh, he caught the wall and just came across his nose.
Came across the nose. Yep.
We'll lose a little bit of sight there, but Gaffright catching the wall, and yeah, ever since North Wilkesboro last season, Gaffright and Seth Berger, they have had multiple run-ins throughout the season, and I was just tensing up watching them race just because I know that has happened in the past, and unfortunately that's what happens here. We'll try to see, does Gaffright catch the wall there? He's just
it looks like netcode.
around.
It looked like netcode, actually.
Yeah, that too.
So it looks like they were just running side by side. Seth Berger trying to get up there, maybe side draft Gaffright a little bit, force him higher into the turn, so that way Seth can kind of have the center of the turn a little bit better, and it just netcode that sends those guys around.
What a hit! I mean, for Matt Rogers, man, just nowhere to go. He tried to go to the high side because Gaffright was spinning down low, and then Gaffright got the truck gathered up, started to, kind of go up the racetrack, and wham, into the outside wall. Seth Berger has gone up to second.
Yeah, he jumped, leapfrogged Joseph Causey there. So very good pit stop for the 77 team. Maybe he just doesn't have enough damage to warrant, maybe it was a couple seconds or something that needed repairing on that front end of the truck, but he is dropping back now.
Oh, but because he was one of the first vehicles in the incident, he will drop to the back. That is correct. But maybe Andrew Cardinal IV has some information coming from pit lane here on this first caution of the day.
Thanks, Emerson. There's a lot to sort through already. Some happenings down in pit lane as well. Obviously, you said everything on the track in turn 3. I can tell you, first of all, Seth Berger definitely was not already happy with Gath, right? They made a little coming together. You saw that. Blame has been put by race control on the number 27. That sort of go to the rear. However, in pit lane, teammates Joseph Kazi and Greg Holt, a little bit of contact. Greg Holt checked up a little bit earlier than Kazi was expecting. A little bit of contact there right into the back end of the number 3. It looks like that damage shouldn't hurt him too bad, all things considered, but there is still damage on the back end of that number 3 truck, and that could impact his race. I'm more concerned about the nose of the number 88, though. Joseph Kazi, that center of the nose has been punched in just a little bit. That will hurt him in clean air.
It certainly appears that way. Thanks, Andrew, for the update from pit lane. That would make a little bit more sense why Seth Berger was able to beat Kazi off the pit lane, and now the choices are being made there. We'll see, from the rear end here of Greg Holt's truck, choices being made on the front straightaway. The lane choices: Seth Berger having to go to the rear, contact with a gaff right, and at that, again, multiple run-ins over the last 2 seasons with those drivers. And now Seth Berger, as a result of making contact with Joshua Gaffright, even though race control put the blame on Gaffright, there is, of course, the system that's been in place since really the inception of Outlaws, way back in the PS3 days. The first 2 trucks, the first 2 vehicles to make contact in an accident, if easily identifiable at that, will be sent to the rear. And Gaffright, even if they put blame on Gaffright, came down, made contact with Seth Berger, and they were the first 2 trucks to make contact. The caution came out. Seth Berger has to go to the rear as a result of that, back in the 15th position. Huge developments that puts him right back there with fellow championship competitor Jeremiah Stutzman. Now the other 2 were able to make their grill tape adjustment, but have some damage at the front of the field. And looks like the lights are going to stay on the safety vehicle. No, we're getting ready to go green here as the truck racing the pit lane. Green flag back in the air. We're racing at Atlanta. Greg Holt, Joseph Kazi at the front of the field. James Gilliard has found his way up into that 3rd position and looking to improve upon that. He's got Lingerfelt, Seth Fitzpatrick hot on his tail, and Jason Miz keeping himself relevant within the top 10.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, what we were talking about, what Andrew was talking about, what happened on pit road with these guys, the Performance Sim Sports top 2 drivers there, and Greg Holt and Joseph Kazi. One thing that concerns me about the 88 truck, the nose being pushed in, he was already having overheating problems. So how is that nose being pushed in going to affect that overheating problem that he already had before the pit stop? As he's going to be under some pressure here soon, as here comes the 33 and the 65 trying to get around the 88.
You can already kind of visually tell, unless Greg Holt is just absolutely on it, that Kazi looks like he's lacking a little bit of speed down these straightaways, and this could be huge. This could be a determining factor if Greg Holt is just able to run away with this race lead and carry on throughout tonight's race.
Yeah, and 3. So I mean, if he has the rear end damage, if it's not too bad, then there's only one driver left who really doesn't have any problems, and that's Jeremiah Stutzman. But he's kind of mired back in the pack right now. We haven't talked about him too much. That's just because he's been riding around back there around 16th, 17th, 18th. That's where we kind of find him now. But here's Joseph Kazi under pressure from Kyle Lingerfelt. Lingerfelt to the inside of him as they come down to the front stretch, taking with the 41 laps completed here at Atlanta. Lingerfelt again looks to the inside of Joseph Kazi into turn 1 and 2.
Lingerfeld trying to work that bottom side nearly up into the 88 truck, but Lingerfeld giving his all down on that bottom side. Kazi doing his best to hold it up high. Just very, very tough to do so, especially if he is hurting for some speed. Holt continues to open the advantage, and we saw Kazi lose a little bit of time early on in the stint before the yellow, but that was after some laps were ran. 0.8 of a second on the opening laps of a stint is cause for concern. Meanwhile, Jeremiah Stutzman is down in the 18th position and trying to find his way back here, just trying to keep that truck clean. As Andrew said, and we've heard kind of Jeremiah Stutzman talk about it kind of all season, it really is. He's kind of the underdog. He's calling himself the underdog in a situation like that. And he even said it's the big three and me. And he's starting to struggle here at Atlanta. We'll see if he's able to find some speed later. Another thing to keep note of here is these two had a little bit of a run-in last week. Randall Barnett, 96 laps down, coming and taking it 4 wide with the race leader, making contact with the race leader, ultimately making a crash that ended Tyler Markle's night. Tyler Markle was in a must-win situation, and basically I was told from a little birdie that I should watch out between these two drivers.
Yeah, there's no love lost there between the 42 and the 63. 63 again, pretty much, he was on fresh tires coming out of the pit after having taken damage repairs, and so it was much faster than the leaders on much older tires. Decided to send it 4 wide at Bristol, which is pretty much a no-no. I mean, any track of 4 wide is very precarious, even Talladega and Daytona. So sending it 4 wide at Bristol probably shouldn't have happened, and ends up costing the leader of the race an incident. And it kind of threw that race into shambles there for a bit. We ended up having a red flag to sort out a bunch of position changes that happened because of that incident. So, I mean, yeah, there might be some fireworks yet between the 42 and the 63.
Looks like Barnett has been able to pick up the pace and maybe drive away from the threat that may loom him later on in this race. Seth Berger just up the road, trying to keep himself alive and well in this race. I don't know. There was not much visual damage on that 77 truck as a result of that accident, but there may be some sort of damage on that truck that maybe just we can't see. Maybe I don't know. But Seth Berger, he also has had to work his way through the field, and he's up to the 11th position. I guess that's not too shabby, but he's got to really get a move on here if he's gonna catch the top 2.
Yeah, we saw it in the first run that the setup that's in these Swift racing trucks kind of takes a few laps to get started. So we saw Seth lose about 4 positions on the initial restart, fall all the way back to I believe 9th place, and then he started making his way back to the front once the truck kind of came into its own and the setup started performing correctly. So it just may take a few laps for that truck to really heat up the tires, get them in the optimal range, and start making up positions. He's already catching Andrew St. Cyr in 10th. He was a little bit of ways behind them before, but he's actually caught up to them, reeled them in. So possibly that 77 truck, after about 5-6 laps, starting to really come alive again like we saw on the first run.
Right, so Seth Berger, again, a lot of work to do, a large mountain to climb. Let's just take a look at the top 10 and it's just, I guess, admire it. I mean, some of the names up here having some of the best runs of the season. Let's talk Garrett Velzy. Last season, Talladega winner. He's had a rough little go in his Outlaws starts. He's up here in the 6th position. They're looking to see if he can try to chase down a spot in the top 5. How about the 25 of Eric Peck having one of his best runs of his Outlaws Sim Series career up here, going to toe-to-toe with Andrew Pratt, who's podiumed once this season. He'd love to do that again. And Andrew St. Cyr, who just fell outside of the top 10 but was inside the top 10. And Andrew St. Cyr, so trying to string together some of those runs, and maybe, who knows, if he'll make a nice little run next season in the Outlaws Sim Series. But Seth Berger inside the top 10 amongst a group of drivers who, well, I'm going to be honest, may not be really used to running inside the top 10 in the Outlaw Sim Series.
Yeah, and I'm hearing over some race chatter here in the actual in-game race chat. Some of these guys are kind of just moving out of the way of this championship driver at the moment. They really don't want to race him. They realize that he is much faster than them right now at this point. A lot of them that, pushed it at the start of the run, and now they're starting to fall off already. But that's just the way Atlanta is. And that 77 truck again comes alive later in the run as it goes on. So these guys are starting to notice that, not really fighting him too much as he makes his way through the field.
So Seth Berger trying to claw his way up the running order. Andrew Pratt now up the road. Andrew St. Court, understandably, very good relationship. Max Service at Swift Racing, and of course teammate Max Service is Seth Berger. So a little bit of some connections there. Seth Berger didn't have that hard of a time getting by Andrew St. Court. Andrew Pratt, he's always raced very well with Seth Berger. I'm sure if Seth really needs him to, Pratt will give him the spot. They're going side by side into 1 and 2. But I don't imagine Pratt will put up too much of a fight. They're already cleared into turn number 1. Seth Berger now has his teammate and Seth Fitzpatrick coming up the road. And then Garrett Velsey is going to be the next truck he encounters. So Seth, working his way up the running order, has a little bit of a step ladder to work his way up there too. But having to put some work in. Meanwhile, Greg Holt has opened up a 2-second advantage at the front of this field and over his championship competitor, Joseph Causey.
Yeah, he has, and we know that Causey's truck may be hurting quite a bit with that nose damage that was, gathered on pit road there. But one thing that's kind of concerning me about this 3 truck in the 88, they've been up front the entire race. If something happened and they found themselves back in the pack, I'm not sure if these trucks, with the overheating problems that they were having, can really stand up to it the way that Seth Berger's having to run his way through the pack. So Seth knows his truck can run in the pack and he can make up positions. But if something happened and this 3 truck of the 88 found themselves back here in this pack, like Seth Berger has, will they, be able to make up the same positions, or will they have the similar overheating problems that we heard about earlier in the race? That's neither here or there right now, as again, Greg Holt does have about a 2-second lead. So, but if that were to happen, that'd be something to watch.
I just realized Max Service is a lap down. I think that's a result of the slide that he had. It's the double slide that he had in the first stint of this race, but he has now worked his way into the physical 6th position on the racetrack as a lap vehicle. So Garrett Velsey sideways is going to happen right in front of Seth. Seth might have to take it 3 wide. He's going to file in line behind Fitzpatrick as they work past Garrett Velsey on the inside. Seth now sends it to the inside, trying to work to the inside of Seth Fitzpatrick. It has not been an easy go since he's gotten to this 2 truck here, but Seth now into 7th, looking for 6th.
Yeah, Garrett Velsey's still fighting that truck behind him there, slipping and sliding off of 4. You saw on the top of the screen. But Seth Berger really trying to make up positions here. He's got his teammate trying to help him.
Sideways into the wall, maybe. Jason Miz in the 24 truck trying to hold on to that thing. And Jason Miz is going to have a significant disadvantage on speed entering the corner. He's going to be eaten up by Fitzpatrick and Berger behind, along with teammate Max Service. Max, I think, is going to try to help Seth by Fitzpatrick here, but a little bit of a struggle trying to get this done.
Yeah, he's trying to give him draft down the straightaway, but Seth Fitzpatrick's truck is just very strong on that outside lane. And the 77 just not able to really do it. Max pulls out of the way now. And maybe a little bit of loose there, but he pulls out of the way, gives him the spot, and lets Seth Berger get on with this race. But yeah, Jason Miz very loose. And this is about the same part of the run that we saw these trucks start to have trouble in the first part, in the first run, before the caution came out, where trucks were slipping and sliding everywhere. So we're going to see a lot more of that here probably throughout this run.
Absolutely. Fitzpatrick putting on a brilliant defense on trying to hold on to the 6th position as they try to chase down Jason Miz in the 5th position, sliding back into this little battle here. Jason Miz trying to hold on. We'll see what happens. The tires definitely wearing out on that 24 truck.
Yeah, and the slide definitely did not help. That just lit up the rear tires even more. So now he's really going to be struggling for a grip off of the turns, trying to put the power down. Whereas the 2 guys behind him really haven't eaten up their stuff as much. Both trucks running different lines, and both trucks like those lines. Seth Berger really fast along the bottom.
We got a wreck in the back, and around goes 2 trucks. You see it on the onboard. Several trucks going around on the back. Another truck gets involved. The red truck colliding with the inside barrier. John Mickey, one of those involved.
66.
Oh, no.
66 truck and the 25 truck.
Eric Peck goes around. Devin Smith, last week's winner, goes around. Joshua Lee and Fox. Oh, no. I'm sorry, that was not Devin Smith. Joshua Lee and Fox is also in a McDonald's livery. Caution is on the speedway. And, that looked big. Let's try to figure out what happened with that incident.
Somebody this does help is Seth Berger. I mean, this really, really helps him get back in contention for this race.
So it looks like something happened here with John Mickey, Eric Peck coming off of turn number 2. Mickey just gets sideways. Peck has nowhere to go. They make contact. Mickey on the inside wall. And oh no! Joshua Lee and Fox just also got loose. Oh, the timing of that is... Oh, that's terrible.
They just found each other. They're just...
Two separate wrecks.
Destined to be in two separate wrecks.
Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Two separate wrecks and they find each other.
Yeah, the 66 not involved in that at all, and it was the 25 and the 69. Yeah, they just came together off the turn there. The 69 very loose, trying to back it up to get himself, and then the 66 just found the wall and came down the track and right to the 25.
That is unbelievable. I am having a hard time believing that. That is something else.
Yeah, but now we got pit stops here, and we saw the Performance Sim Sports guys kind of find each other. This time a little bit cleaner entering the pits.
Yep. The pit lane is busy. Service is being taken. Setter takes his box at the front of the field. And down and away, Joseph Causey wins the race off pit road. Greg Holt may be taking some damage. Seth Berger beats Greg Holt off the pit lane. That is huge.
And we said, I mean, I said it before, if this 3 truck or the 88 find themselves back in the pack, would they be able to keep up with it as they were having overheating problems? You know, this is something to watch here as we get into this run. You know, that overheating, if they're in a pack, is going to be much worse than if he was out in clean air.
So a lot happening on the pit lane. Andrew Cardinale IV working hard down on the pit lane. Andrew, what you got for us?
Well, Emerson, more trouble for Greg Holt in the pit lane. Misses his box this time, loses a lot of spots, as you guys saw, and that's only going to hinder the championship run for the number 3. He's led every single lap to this point, at least under green flag conditions, has been fantastic on the racetrack, but in pit lane, that seems to be his Achilles heel so far today. Also of note with the number 77, Seth Berger checked in shortly before that pit stop under yellow. Says the truck feels good, needs to get clear for Performance Sim Sport, though, to challenge the leaders. Well, one of those leaders now behind him, but at least is going to be able to challenge those guys back in front, Seth Fitzpatrick, Lingerfelt, and some of the others to try and get back up to Kazi. He feels as if he can get to Kazi, and on a long run, he's got something for him, but it requires getting there, especially on this long run. With Greg Holt behind him, who knows what's going to happen? Seems like the number 3 truck has been best, the number 88 still good. Now the number 77 has a chance to shine.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andrew. And again, so much happening on the pit lane there. Greg Holt needing to figure out the pit lane. You know, at the top of the broadcast, I mentioned about sliding through the pit box, but that was more because, you know, under green flag conditions and the tires being super worn, that happens with Greg Holt. Granted, you know, there was a lot of laps on those tires, to be fair. There's about 30 laps. There was a lot that on those tires that Greg Holt maybe just didn't anticipate the tire wear. Maybe that's how he slid through his box, but it's huge. You see the ramifications of it. It puts him in row 3, pending the choose rule here. Here we go.
I could actually chime in on that, Emerson, because funny enough, Greg Holt was anticipating getting hit by his teammate Joseph Kazi again, had his eyes in the mirror, and that is why he messed up, got a little bit deep in the box, specifically a little too close to the wall, so a little too far to the left. He had his eyes in the mirror, just missed his mark by the slightest of margins. Also worth noting here, Devin, James Gilliard, pit penalty to the rear, got the cone on entry.
Yeah, also, I'm hearing over the radio chat that the 2 truck of Seth Fitzpatrick also issues on pit road. He's going to have to move to the rear as well. Speeding on pit road is what I am hearing.
Very, very busy pit lane, and unfortunately, a lot of mistakes on the pit lane as a result. Drivers struggling on pit lane in more ways than one. Penalties, sliding through the box, worried about one another, fixing damage, just making adjustments, getting tires changed so much. And you know what? We still have 101 laps to go when we take the green flag this time by. The lights are out on the safety vehicle. They're lined up double wide. Joseph Kazi chose the high side. We have teammate Jason Miz on the bottom side to try to help with Seth Berger being the second truck on the inside lane. The iRacing.com safety vehicle will find its safety in the pit lane. Joseph Kazi is going to lead the field to the green here in Atlanta. A huge jump for Joseph Kazi, but let's remember what happened on the restart that we just had most recently. Greg Holt jumped out to a huge lead, suspecting, Joseph Kazi maybe having some front end damage. Well, now Kazi is the race leader. Will he be able to pull away enough if Seth Berger can find some speed in that 77?
Yeah, we know that 77 takes about 5 laps for that truck to really start to come alive. He's going to be under pressure here from Greg Holt before too long as they get through turns 1 and 2. The 3 truck all over the back of the 77 truck, as well as the 24 all over the back of the 65 right in front of them.
The battle for second on the racetrack, the battle for second in the championship. Greg Holt will power by the 77 of Seth Berger, and Seth just no match for the 3 truck at this moment. He's also going to have his teammate Jason Miz right in front of him. Lingerfeld may not be as an easy pass for Greg Holt. We'll see what happens as Holt tries to work his way forward and try to catch teammate Joseph Kazi.
And again, we see the 77 truck falling back, this time into the clutches of Tyler Markle there in the 42. Markle pushing him, it looks like, down the back straightaway. But, yeah, now he jumps to the outside. A lot of speed in that 42 truck here. Early is, the 77 and 42 almost make contact. But, man, yeah, that 77 truck just does not have the short run speed. So if this does come down to a short run race, that 77 truck really going to be struggling to put it together and try and win this thing. But if we can stay green, then that 77 truck does come alive, but he's lost quite a few positions already.
And Seth Berger really struggling on the short run. He can't lose this many spots. Tyler Markle, former teammate, good friend of Seth Berger, trying to help him out down the back straightaway that time around, but to no avail. He just was able to jump up to the outside and fly right on by. Max Service is back on the lead lap and back inside the top 10. All in one caution period. My goodness, Max Service up to the 8th position. After being a lap down, just not even more than 10 laps to go.
Yeah, he was able to come down, get get service done on the truck, repair a little bit of damage that he had, and then also got new fresh tires and came out on the lead lap. So a brilliant drive back and recovery for the 81 truck of Max Service, now almost to the back of his teammate Seth Berger, as Berger is really fallen back again here early in the run, really taking it easy as Seth Berger trying to get that truck to come alive.
So Seth Berger now leading pretty much a second pack. Tyler Markle works his way past Jason Miz. Lingerfeld now the next truck up the road for Greg Holt. We'll see what Lingerfeld and Holt and how they battle will happen here. Tyler Markle also trying to come to the rescue of teammate Kyle Lingerfeld as well. Looks like Seth Berger has an entourage behind him. Everybody kind of being behind his 77 trucks. James Gilliard is going to want to jump forward. But everybody else looks like they're kind of content just trying to let Seth get up to speed here and kind of lead them forward if he can.
Yeah, and we know after about 5 laps is when that truck comes alive. We're approaching that here and probably 1-2 more laps. So we'll really start to see that 77 truck make up ground that he's lost. But it is quite a bit of ground indeed. You can see the gap there back behind Jason Miz between the 24 and the 77. He's got to make all of that up and more to get to the leader, Joseph Kazi.
Speaking of the leader, Joseph Kazi, how about it? The 88 truck, this is the first time he's leading the championship today. And you see there's that front end damage. You can see it clear as day right there. Little bit of a crinkle there, the nose punched in. You heard Andrew talk about it early on a pit report as well on the first caution period. Joseph Kazi not as aerodynamically sound as he'd like to be. He has not opened up the gap that he'd like. Only 0.3 over Kyle Lingerfeld, only half a second over teammate Greg Holt. Joseph Kazi kind of holding on and clinging on to what he can up at the front of the field to try to hold on to this championship lead.
Yeah, he's trying to break away as much as he can, but he is not able to do that as Kyle Lingerfeld keeping it right around 2/10 of a second on him, really losing speed down the straightaways is the 88 truck. That's where these guys behind him really catch him. And Greg Holt there also entering the picture again, trying to get this lead back. He wants to be in control of this race. He sends it to the outside of the 65 truck, not able to get there just yet, and he's going to have to settle, but Lingerfeld in the wall.
Oh my goodness, Lingerfeld getting the wall there. Holt was able to avoid. Lingerfeld kept the wheel straight in order to not get it to Greg Holt there, but now Greg has an easy sight line to his teammate.
Yeah, now the 3 truck back to battle his teammate for the lead. We know the 3 truck has a lot of speed. We know the 88 truck did have a lot of speed, but that front end damage could really hurt him here as they are battling for position. This for possibly the championship. You know, we're at lap 75 of 65, but if we go green to the end, then you are in control of this race. That's where you want to be, and that 3 truck wants to be back in control.
Absolutely, Greg Holt, now he understands that he kind of has an advantage over Joseph Kazi, so he's not going to have to push himself to get by Joseph Kazi, but he does want to build up as large of an advantage as he can before Seth Berger's truck comes to life, 2.5 seconds back. Kazi right in the middle lane on the racetrack. Holt's going to have to work his way around, and Kazi's not going to give him the outside lane, which would, you know, help him get the run off the corner. So Holt's going to have to do it on the inside lane, have to use up some of his stuff if he's going to get by Joseph Kazi. To the inside, Greg Holt peaks Kazi up on the second seam, trying to keep the run to the momentum on the side of the 88 through the quad oval. Holt has the file back in line near contact at the center of the quad oval, back into 1. Kazi still in that middle lane, Holt down low, trying to work that Lego Toyota Tundra up the inside of the 88.
Yeah, and these guys may be teammates, but they are battling each other for a championship now. So all of that teammate camaraderie is kind of out the window here when you're battling each other for the championship. It's one man against everyone else, even if you're teammates, and we're seeing that now with the driving and battling between the 3 truck and the 88. 3 truck again trying to look for any way around this 88. The 88 taking away the top lane of the racetrack, forcing the 3 truck to go down low. The 88 knows that that's probably his only good defense against the speed that Greg Holt has right now.
Approaching the halfway mark in this race, in this championship, in this season finale, and the 2 teammates, Joseph Kazi and Greg Holt, going toe-to-toe for a championship, head-to-head for a championship, and they're putting it on display at the front of the field. Front-end damage for the 88, rear-end damage for the 3, side-by-side into turns 1 and 2. Kazi with the lead and has the lane choice into the corner. Holt has the better truck, trying to work to the inside. Sideways is the 3 truck, down the back straightaway they go, advantage 88.
Yeah, we've seen this time and time again. The way you're battling here and you're pinching the guy down on the bottom, you can really put up a masterful defense. We saw it earlier with the 27 truck of Joshua Gathright against the 77 truck of Seth Berger, and the 27 was able to hold off Seth Berger, even though Seth Berger was much faster. And we're seeing that now again with the 88 truck of Joseph Kazi holding off Greg Holt for a long, but now Greg Holt, big run through the center of the turn, but loose off again in turn 2. That gives the advantage back to the 88 down the back straightaway.
Side by side in the 3 and 4. Holt's got to drive it in deep here, but Kazi drives it in deep on the outside. Both struggling for grip. Both trying to keep their trucks pointed in the right direction. Both still side by side through the quad oval. Joseph Kazi putting up the fight of his lifetime in his wounded number 88.
He is putting up a fight indeed. Keeps it side by side as they head into 1. Greg Holt again, good run through the center, but coming off again, he slips off of turn number 2. All he's doing is killing the rear tires now. But
near contact
again as they enter turn 3 side by side for 3 laps in a row are these teammates.
Side by side, they continue on. Kazi trying to hold on to what he's got, that high side being his last saving grace. Holt, if he's going to get by his teammate, he's got to drive it in harder into the corner without destroying his stuff. They still maintain side by side. How about this long side by side teammates for the championship in the season finale approaching halfway? Have you ever seen anything like this?
This is amazing driving from these teammates right now, keeping it off each other. Some close calls, but overall great, clean side-by-side racing for the championship lead. Again, almost contact through the quad oval here on the front stretch of Atlanta. Turn number 1, they enter again side-by-side for the fourth lap in a row, excuse me. And now, look now, but the 77 truck is really starting to make up ground on these guys.
He's gained half a second since this battle has begun, and it's starting to close once again. Holt and Kazi, neither one of these drivers want to give up. If this was any other race in the season, even if it was a playoff race, maybe they'd just let up and give this to one another. But Kazi understands if Holt gets by him, it is almost game over. You can't guarantee another caution in the Outlaws Sim Series. You have to fight for every single piece of track position. You have to hold on to the race lead if it's gifted to you, in the way that Greg Holt gifted it to Joseph Kazi. Holt trying to return that gift back to his own possession, and they still go at it side by side. Some of the closest, tightest racing amongst teammates ever in the Outlaw Sim Series.
Still side by side. We're approaching 6 laps of this racing side by side. Seth Berger now to the inside of Jason Miz behind these guys, just back down the road by about 2 seconds, and he is gaining and gaining and gaining as this battle continues. But Jason Miz, a teammate of these two in front of him, giving up a little bit of a fight and trying to keep Berger behind him. He's unable to do so. Berger is now cleared to 3rd place. He can hunt down these 2 leaders.
As Seth Berger gets to the 3rd place, as Devin commentated there, we still keep our eyes on the race lead that has stayed side by side for several laps on end, and only at Atlanta will you ever get racing like this.
Yeah, neither one of these guys is giving up. You saw there, Kazi had a little bit of an advantage as they went through the quad oval, and Greg Holt is clearly behind him now. He's going to have to duck in back behind him. No, he still stays to the inside, trying to get down there, trying to force a mistake out of Joseph Kazi and get to the race lead. He's unable to do so, but now how much of their tires have they eaten up, and how much has Seth Berger behind them saved as he tries to hunt him down? Almost a 1.5 seconds back is the 77 truck.
Here comes Greg Holt again. Now Seth Berger 1.6 seconds back. Holt fighting as hard as he can through the inside of 1 and 2. Kazi on the outside keeps it alive. I just want to note, Tyler Markle, Garrett Velzy have both left this race. I think there was a crash at some point, but we have kept our eyes on this lead pack. The caution flag did not come out, so we continue to race for the race lead and for the championship at the front of the field. 1.5 seconds the gap as Seth Berger eyes the side-by-side battle for the championship up the road.
Can you ask for any better racing than what these Performance Sim Sports guys are putting on right now for the championship? Everything on the line. Final race of the year. They are going side by side for what seems like maybe more than 10 laps already. The 88 and the 3 battling hard, but don't look now. Seth Berger has almost closed it down to just 1 second. It's 1.3 at the moment, but he is gaining and gaining and gaining on these guys ever so slightly as they continue to race side by side.
Joseph Kazi might be the 2nd time in the last 10 laps he has cleared Greg Holt, and other than that, they've been side by side. The last thing he wants to do, though, is give Greg Holt the outside. Holt went to the outside, trying to get a run on Joseph Kazi. He sees Seth Berger closing the gap behind. Holt understands how important it is for him to get in front of this 88 truck, but looks like he's trying to stay in line now. Seth Berger has kept the gap now at 1.3 seconds. Holt might have burnt his stuff up trying to battle the 88 truck, who's wounded at the front of this field. 1.4 seconds the gap. Seth Berger actually stagnating that gap between 1.3 and 1.4 seconds. And now Joseph Kazi looks to be the sole leader of this race once again. Holt will try to maybe cool his stuff off and make another charge at it again, but the gap has stayed stagnant now, 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, now that they have stopped battling, the distance gained by Seth Berger has kind of equalized. He's not really losing, he's not really gaining. But what I can tell you is that these two front drivers have probably used a lot of tire life up in that truck, battling side by side the way they have been, especially the number 3 truck. We saw him multiple times completely sideways off of turn 2. And so, how much life is left in that truck as the 77 hasn't really had to battle that many people? He's kind of just driven by the guys behind him, and he's really opened up a gap to the 24 behind him. It is just him. He is now all just focused on the guys in front of him. He can go hunt them down and try and get this lead.
As we have a little bit of a break in the battle for the lead, and I say a little bit of a break as there's still nose to tail. Andrew Cardinale IV, what you got for us?
Certainly only a small break, but really the biggest part of the report, silence in the Performance Sim Sport Discord channel. Absolute silence as these guys battle. There was a crash earlier on. Garrett Velzy crashed on his own, maybe side by side here again into 3 and 4. Quickly though, the incident with Tyler Markle was between he and Andrew St. Cour. They had a little bit of contact. That's why the 12 is dropping down the order as well. Markle's done. Velzy is done. There was also some extracurricular activity, just a little bit of a hit between Markle and Barnett. We'll leave that to all the fans from last week to figure on out as maybe a pass for the lead.
Holt going at it once again. Thank you, Andrew, for the update and what we didn't see, keeping our eyes fixated on the amazing championship battle at the front of the field. They're at it again. Holt cooled his tires off, ready to do battle once again. Seth Berger 1.5 seconds back. Causey nearly up by the outside wall, trying to get every bit of advantage of using the hill to his advantage through the quad oval once again, side by side across the stripe and through the quad oval.
Yeah, again, both of these trucks battling side by side, and Seth Berger kind of maintaining the gap. 1.4 seconds is where it's kind of stagnated, not really gaining or losing is he at the moment as these two trucks in front of him continue to do battle. Did Seth Berger use up a little too much trying to catch these guys? I mean, these guys are using up quite a bit in front of him, so I just don't know.
Oh, did Causey get the wall there?
It looks like Holt has cleared him. No, Causey's still fighting back on the outside. Even if he did clip the wall, he's still not ready to give up this lead. Not saying quit, never saying die is that 88 truck.
Joseph Causey is going to let that 88 truck eat until its dying breath. He's going to put up every bit of fight he can. Seth Berger has seemed like he's stagnated. Even with these guys going side by side, he's lost a little bit of time. Now Causey on that second seam, a little bit higher up the racetrack from the first time he was battling Greg Holt. Greg has a little bit more room on the bottom side to work with. That being said, Causey gets a larger advantage down the straightaways and off the corner, and Causey's cleared into turn 1. Holt trying to send it down to the inside again, and you heard it from Andrew. Silence in the team Discord. They are not talking to one another during this very intense time. How crazy is that as Jason Miz sideways on the back straightaway?
Yeah, again, this is where we start seeing trucks get very sideways, losing the grip off of turn number 2. It is infamous here at this track. That's where the grip is the least. And again, Greg Holt now falling back off of Joseph Causey about 0.2 seconds. So that's pretty much the biggest gap we've seen between these two guys here in probably 20 laps. But man, this battle is continuing. Greg Holt back to the back bumper of Joseph Causey now, trying to set him up possibly for another go at it. But man, Joseph Causey, an amazing defense with a beaten, battered truck, trying to take home this championship.
And I also want to say they're on 35 lap-old tires, so pit stops should be on the way. And we're still seeing these guys duke it out side by side. Amazing stuff. And we'll see also what the strategy call is from the 77 camp and maybe what the Performance Sim Sport drivers do. I'd imagine there's not going to be any call to pit in between either one of these drivers. Causey's going to have to maybe, if he's going to try to pit before Greg, he's going to have to try to do it as cleanly as possible with a 3 truck breathing down his neck. This is going to be intriguing. Maybe if Causey does pit, does Greg follow him in? We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, we will, and they're still side by side again. Here we go. The 3 truck, the 88 truck again. Round number 5, I guess, between these guys. as they duke it out for the race lead, the championship lead. Seth Berger still 1.5 seconds behind them, ready to pounce if anything were to happen between these two teammates. The 88 truck's on the outside, the 3 truck on the inside through turns 3 and 4.
I just want to say this is the class of the season. 8 wins of the 21 completed races so far is on your screen. The 2 most winningest drivers on the season. Greg Holt, the winningest driver in the Outlaws Sim Series, going the toe-to-toe with teammate Joseph Kazi, side by side for as many laps as they did at one of the most difficult ovals on the NASCAR circuit. Atlanta Motor Speedway, with its abrasive track surface and grip being as scarce as it is, the fact that these drivers were going side by side as long as they have been over the course of nearly their entire tire stint just speaks volumes to the level of talent that both Joseph Kazi and Greg Holt have, and they're just proving ever more that they should be in the championship for as they continue to duke it out for the race in the championship lead. Kazi cleared once again. Seth Berger back to 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, he's lost a little bit of time. He's really sticking to that bottom of the racetrack is Seth Berger. He's not really moved around at all to see if maybe the top side will work for that track. It looks like he is pretty much glued to the bottom. That's where he's going to live or die in this 77 truck. As he, again, we see him, he just dives it down to the bottom of the racetrack. As we see up in front, he can see the leaders. This is as close as he's been all the race long. As he's slipping and sliding off of turn 2, loses a little bit of time because of that. But he can see them, he can smell them, and can he get there?
Try as he might have to wait till pit stops to make the biggest indent he can on this battle for the championship. It is 3 trucks at the front of the field. I do want to give a shout out to Jeremiah Stutzman, who's currently riding in the 11th position, trying to find his way up inside the top 10. Don't count him out. If something happens at the front of the field and all 3 trucks up there get damaged, Stutzman, his truck is clean.
Yeah, he's kept it clean all race long and just taken the very, very easy road, you know, just not really battling anyone, not really forcing an issue, just letting the race come to him. If someone is faster, he's letting them go. If he's faster, he's kind of just been let go by the guy that he was battling with. You know, not really a very difficult race for Stutzman so far, but I know he'd like to be a lot closer to these guys than what he is. He just doesn't have the confidence here at Atlanta right now in the 71 truck. So just kind of maybe hoping for a caution later in the race. Maybe he can go for it if they get a late caution and it's a real short run to the end. But I know one truck who doesn't want that. That's the 77, as long as it takes that one to really start to fire off. But even on the long run here, he's starting to struggle, not really gaining on these 2 trucks out front, the 88 and the 3, is again Greg Holt looks to the inside of the 88.
Yeah, it looks like we may be getting pit stops here very shortly. Looks like somebody has already visited the pit lane. That would be the 12 of Andrew St. Cure. I believe also the 66 of Joshua Lane Fox has hit the pit lane. So pit stops are underway. Here comes Greg Holt, though, to the inside of Joseph Kazi.
Yeah, Kazi a bit loose off of the top of the turn there, not able to keep the speed up down the straightaway. That gives the advantage to Greg Holt, but can he clear him in the center of the turn and slide up in front of his teammate? Not able to do so just yet. And Greg, was it Greg Holt's going to have to settle for being side?
Oh, they make contact! No! Kazi into the wall! Oh, no!
And that's damage for both trucks. A lot of damage on the front end and on the right side of the truck of the 88. Seth Berger powers by the 88. Now he has his sight sets on Greg Holt. No caution, and Greg Holt very slow.
Is Greg Holt damaged? I know there's going to be some right front damage, but is he damaged to where he can't pick up the throttle anymore? Here comes Seth Berger. Now it's a new championship competitor into the ring. Here we go once again for the championship lead.
Seth Berger tries the outside here. Greg Holt dives to the inside. Seth Berger tries the outside. The first time we've really seen that 77 truck move up a lane. He has the run down the straightaway. You can see the damage on the right side of that number 3 truck. 3 truck tries to balk him a little bit as they get into turn 1. Not able to do so. The 77 now is to the door of the 3 truck, trying to power around the outside for the lead.
Greg Holt, try as he might on the bottom side. Seth Berger has taken the lead in this championship. Seth Berger is leading this race. He is in prime position to try to go back to back. There's still 2 pit stops, maybe 1, remaining in this race as drivers try to stretch as long as they can. Joseph Kazi has hit the pit lane. Tons of damage to that 88 truck. He is down and away.
Yeah, and you can see the entire right side of that 88 truck, the rear, the front, the entire door, very battered and damaged. Now it's just recovery period for Joseph Causey. He put on an amazing defense in that truck, and he's just not able to keep it. Yeah, there's a wreck in front of him there, exiting the pit road, it looked like. But I did say that it's kind of treacherous exiting this pit lane. It's very slippery. And it looks like it catches out the 63 Randall Barnett.
Looks like we stay green. James Gilliard, Jason Miz hit the pit lane. Oh, James Gilliard has had some contact. Maybe he missed the pit lane. That 33 truck.
I'm not sure, but it does look like he was very slow. I'm not sure if he got the wall or if he missed pit entry. Again, we talked about in the opener, it's very difficult to judge when it is to slow down to make pit lane here at Atlanta. It's very difficult to get off of this pit road as well. And even under caution conditions, we've seen the 3 truck overshoot his box, make contact with his teammate, and you know that's cost him quite a bit here. And now he had to battle his teammate side by side for many, many laps. Finally, they make contact, and both the 3 truck and the 88 truck find themselves in damage and in peril of losing this championship.
And all that, Joseph Causey made his pit stop. He did not take damage repairs. Jason Miz, he is done with today's race. James Gilliard had, I think, to putter his way around back to the pit lane. Andrew Cardinale, the 4th. In all this madness, find us some sense of direction in what's going on out on the racetrack.
Well, Burger Nation, rise up. Firstly, this is the break he needed. They were talking about it in their kind of camp the entire race. They just needed something to happen. They were even starting to wonder, man, what if these two do hit each other? And then it happened. Now, if you're Greg Holt, though, the damage looks okay. A little bit of right front damage over that fender, over that wheel, but all things considered, given the situation, not so bad. He's got a great truck, and if they get a yellow, if that number 3 team gets a break, they're right back in this race. Unfortunately, if you're a Joseph Causey fan, I'm not so sure he's got a chance at this point. I hate to rule anybody out before the checkered flag is fallen, but that number 88 is beyond damage. And as this pit cycle works through here, Emerson and Devin, it looks like Jeremiah Stutzman playing a bit of the long game, going a little bit longer, not wanting to short pit here, but the pit window opens up at about 2 more laps.
Thanks, Andrew, and it certainly appears this is a one stop to the end from that most recent caution. A lot of these drivers making their stops already, but you see Holt and Berger staying out as long as they can. I think Greg Holt has hit the pit lane now. Greg Holt is in that number 3 Lego truck. I'd imagine he's not going to take any damage repairs, even if he has, you know, a lot of damage repairs to take. There's not much, I think, but he's going to stop in the box. That time he doesn't slide through. And Greg Holt, I'd imagine, it's just 4 tires and the fuel to make it to the end.
Yeah, 4 tires and fuel it should be for the 3 truck. We'll see if he takes any damage. I don't believe he will. He'll lose too much time on pit road, and he is down and away. We'll have to see what happens with the 77 truck here, as he's still in the lead of this race, and it doesn't. Oh, he's on pit road. He's in pit road.
Joseph Causey passes Greg Holt on the racetrack. So Causey, if everything cycles out, should take the theoretical lead of the championship for the time being. I think Causey's just going to have to hope for a caution to fall his way. Stutzman takes the lead. Teammate Max Service follows Seth Berger into the pit lane. All this going on during the pit cycle. 50 laps to go, this time by the stripe for Jeremiah Stutzman.
Yeah, Jeremiah Stutzman, the master strategist of this entire field. He comes down now, running a little bit longer than these guys in front of him, maybe trying to have the freshest tires for the end of the race is that 71 truck, as he is the last one, I believe, to really hit the pit road. We see Greg Holt goes around the 77 truck. He takes over the battle that we saw before the pit stop cycle. But Joseph Causey is going to cycle around to the leader of the race, I believe.
Joseph Causey has taken the lead of the race and the championship once again. And imagine hoping for a caution to fall in his favor. Greg Holt has passed Seth Berger on the racetrack. We'll see if the damage that Holt has to the right front of his truck is going to impact him anyway for Seth to catch up that gap, or if Seth is going to be able to find a long run speed. But Greg Holt, we've seen how fast he is on the short run. Will he be able to put that kind of speed back in this 3 truck, even with the damage? Battling through lapped traffic. Randall Barnett, Andrew St. Cour giving way to a championship competitor of Greg Holt. Actually, it's Andrew St. Cour. This is a battle for position. St. Cour in second now, back to third position as Greg Holt passes him.
Yeah, St. Cour pivoted very, very early, so he made up quite a bit of spots here, but he's on the oldest tires of anyone that is currently on the track, since everyone else has already made their pit stops a lot later. So he was very easy pass. We know that the 77 truck takes a bit to fire off, about 5 laps before that truck really starts to find speed. He's not going to lose too much ground here behind him, hopefully, to the 3 truck. He wants to keep him in that front mirror or in that front window and not let him scamper down the road too far before his truck really starts to come alive. It looks like right now Seth Berger really just hanging on and not really losing too much ground, so that's good news for everyone in the Berger Nation camp.
Right, at this point, we usually see Greg Holt have a significant pace advantage over Seth Berger, and it looks like Holt still has that pace advantage, but not to the extent it was with a clean race truck on the 3 truck. So Berger Nation, there's still faith for Seth to clinch it. He's actually gone right on by the 75 Andrew, but actually the lap vehicle there of Randall Barnett, and now Seth Berger just has 1 truck, and a truck that potentially would be in his favor in between himself and Greg Holt as they try to chase down the very wounded Joseph Causey.
Yeah, they're trying to chase him down, about 1.4 seconds, 1.3 seconds between them and Joseph Causey. The 77 catches the 12 off of turn 4. 12 gives him the outside lane, 77 around the inside. The next truck up the road is Greg Holt for Seth Berger now. He can see it. He can smell it. All he has to do is go and get it.
So this is going to be intriguing. At one point, does Seth Berger catch Greg Holt? If he catches Greg Holt, and where do they catch Joseph Causey? As they start to tighten up at the front of the field, Andrew, what you got for us?
Oh, Emerson, it wouldn't be one of those classic Atlanta races without one of those potentials for a fantastic Atlanta finish, or at least a fuel mileage race. Joseph Causey, Greg Holt, they don't think they're good, especially Causey, of course. He came in a little bit early. He's not looking good right now at all. If you're Greg Holt, he's of the understanding right now he's got to pit one more time to the end. When does that pit stop come? We don't know just yet. But if you're Seth Berger, the opportunity is close. They're not going for the one-stop strategy yet from what I've heard, but the opportunity is close. You did see the pass lead right there. Causey losing that lead. That was pretty much expected. However, what everybody in the pit lane, the garage, everybody is acknowledging is Jeremiah Stutzman, as Devin has pointed out, the master of strategy. Jeremiah Stutzman with the longest on that run. He's the closest. He might be on the number. Might be. Now, if the deltas work out, we don't know just yet. But watch that number 71. Watch how this run goes. Suddenly, this guy who sat around 10th all race is back in it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andrew. And you know what? That's Jeremiah Stutzman's specialty. That's how he stole Auto Club last season. That's how he got himself into the Championship 4, is going out on the limb and seeing maybe, just maybe, a strategy will work. Crunching every single number, every caution period. He probably has got 1 or 2 or 3 calculators by his side, figuring out what strategy is going to work out best for him. He's got multiple strategies written down. I am so sure of this before the race. He thinks every possible strategy. He does multiple fuel runs throughout the week to figure out what kind of fuel target number he can hit. And here he is with a chance to take it all and steal it right from under the noses of the Performance Sim Sport trucks or Seth Berger. What this race has turned into and what it could be in about 42 laps time is still to be found out, but Seth Berger is here under the tailgate of Greg Holt. They're going to go at it for the race in the championship lead with a non-championship contender, Seth Fitzpatrick, in the mix for the race lead and into the wall, Seth Fitzpatrick.
If Fitzpatrick gets the wall as they enter turn 3, that kills his truck quite a bit. Heavy right side damage all over the right sides of that number 2 truck. He was right on these guys battling for the lead, but as we say that, Seth Berger has cleared Greg Holt.
Seth Berger has taken the championship lead once again. 40 laps to go, this time by the start-finish line. Greg Holt and his wounded number 3 Lego Toyota Tundra. It was no match for the Liftworks, Bergarts, and Transdepot Chevrolet Silverado in the number 77 truck. The Flood Brothers also on that truck as well. Just getting them all their recognition. I'm sure the Berger Nation, the Liftworks folks, and all of those people who support Seth and Swift Racing will all love that. The namesakes being dropped there for their respective companies. But Seth Berger now cleared, and now a quarter second clear of Greg Holt. Holt try as he might. There's gonna maybe be some strategy play here between these two. If Holt cannot make it to the end, what happens? Can Seth maybe save the fuel now that he's out in clean air? Is Seth trying to save the fuel? Because Holt has closed half a tenth just that time through 3 and 4.
Yeah, a lot of strategy being played now. I mean, anything can turn on its head, especially if another caution were to come out, because then that gives these guys a chance to come in and get 4 fresh tires and be good to the end of the race. We just have to see if this 77 truck, what he's going to do. Is he going to try and push it and open up this lead, or is he going to try and save as much as he can and try and make it to the end of the race without having to stop again? Right now, though, that 3 truck putting up pressure and really putting on the fight to the 77. He doesn't want the 77 to get away too easily.
Absolutely not. Greg Holt's real only opportunity is to keep Seth Berger at bay, not let Seth get full control of this race. Greg Holt, who had control of this race for so long, overshot his pit box on the second caution period of the day, fell back into the middle of the pack. Then there was contact between himself and Joseph Causey. Causey's truck severely damaged, severely off the pace, no longer a factor unless he gets a yellow flag or 2 to repair that damage. Greg Holt, on the other hand, has minor damage, but damage nonetheless. Had to go at it with a driver who's much preferred the long run as opposed to the short run. They had to go at it side by side. A green flag pit cycle has since passed. Greg Holt retook that position over Seth Berger. Seth Berger, who usually is at a disadvantage to Greg Holt on the short run, chased the Lego Toyota Tundra back down and passed him back for the race and the championship lead, and now leads with 36 laps to go at Atlanta. And who knows what the fuel number is? Greg Holt to the outside!
Greg Holt sends it on the outside, but I don't know if he sent it too late. He's going to have to back off in the center of the turn. He may have the run down the back straightaway, but he's not able to put the nose out just yet. Seth Berger maintains the lead for now, but Greg Holt really putting the pressure on.
I just want to sit and reminisce real quick as we still have a real battle on our screen with Berger and Holt back to last season with Seth Berger, Max Service, Joshua Balliet, and Adrian Schumacher all going head to head, all teammates going at it for the championship last season at Kansas, and they all, at one point in that race or another, led that championship several times. I'm thinking back to how that compares to tonight, with Causey and Holt leading the championship at various times, and now Seth Berger taking it, and the Stuntsman is able to hit his fuel number and swipe it from their noses. Oh my goodness, how I thought last season finale would not be topped. If it hasn't been topped already with the amazing battle performance Sim Sports put on today, it is so close.
It is very close as we see the 77 holding off the 3 truck here off of 2. The 3 truck really sending it in turn 1, trying to drive it, get it beside the 77 truck in the center of the turn. But right now, the 3 truck just does not have the turning capability with that right front damage as it did earlier. And he's really struggling through the center of the turns, but he does have the speed and the advantage down the straightaway, it looks like, by keeping that truck about a lane higher than the 77.
Both of them working the bottom side of the racetrack. You see Holt actually hit the apron a little bit there. Was not able to get that truck to use all the space up off the corner. And Seth had a little bit of an advantage. Now into turn 3, Holt drives it in deeper. But Seth actually more patient with the throttle. Able to get a little bit of advantage on the exit. Now there's a lapped vehicle there that might alter the... I guess the advantage Seth was able to take on the straightaway. And here we go into turn 1 again. Greg Holt puts the nose all over the rear tailgate of Seth Berger's truck. They continue on now, coming around to 31 laps to go.
Yeah, and Seth just, running his race right now. He knows that 3 truck is trying to put pressure on him. But the best thing that 77 truck can do is focus on the road ahead. Let that 3 truck be the one to make the mistake, not force him to make the mistake. It's really easier said than done, but Seth Berger seems to be opening up a little bit of gap up to about 2/10 now as they work through turns 1 and 2.
And how about it? Seth Berger was involved in the first caution of this race, contact with another performance sim sport truck in Joshua Gaffright. Had to go to the rear of the field. Seth Berger has driven from the back to the front, and he had to watch Holt and Kazi drive away from him several times today. And here he is now in front of Greg Holt. Greg Holt thought he had this race all in his hands from the get-go. Kazi got to the front, and then they had to go at it toe-to-toe, and then they made contact. And that's when it's gone south thus far for Greg Holt. There's still time for that to change, but coming around to 29 laps to go, looks like the ball is in Seth's court, as Jeremiah Stutzman has now entered the top 10, and Joseph Kazi has officially fallen 1 lap down and is on the pit lane.
Yeah, Joseph Kazi choosing to take his pit stop now, getting damage repaired. I believe, let's see, yeah, he's been on the pit road for a very long time. Pretty much his night is done. He is going to be 4th in the championship at this point. Jeremiah Stutzman, though, only about a straightaway in front of Seth Berger. So I do not believe that Seth Berger is saving any gas, and that might be what the 3 truck of Greg Holt is kind of doing, putting the pressure on Berger to prevent him from saving any fuel and making it all the way to the end of this race, forcing that 77 truck to have to come back down at least one more time, since the 3 truck knows he has to come down again. So that way, if there's any mistake, if there's one little miscue on pit road, he might have a shot to win this.
It's intriguing to think about that, and you see Stutzman on that same frame last time around, just up the road from the leaders, about on the tail end of the lead lap, 9th place, last truck on the lead lap. But as Holt, if that is true, and I'd imagine that's true, put all the pressure you can, try to force Seth into a mistake either on the track or force him to make a pit stop. Greg Holt, he is almost essentially, he's put himself in this position because of pit road, and this championship may very well be decided once again on pit road, should it happen. A race we've had so far, the race has been done on the track as much as it has been on pit road. It's been absolutely phenomenal. Joseph Kazi has gotten all his damage repaired. He is now 3 laps down, and he's not out of it yet. He's back on the track. If he gets a slew of cautions and a lot of drama to fall his way, he could get back into this race, but it looks like a far-fetched idea at the moment, just the way and the nature of the Outlaws Sim Series and the nature of Atlanta and just looking at the field.
Yeah, for sure. Unfortunate for Joseph Kazi, such a strong truck and such a strong defense for multiple laps against his teammate, and then just a little contact sends him up to the wall and ends pretty much any shot at winning the championship this season for one of the most dominant drivers this season. The other one, Greg Holt, also again involved in that with his teammate. Just a little bit of right front damage as Greg Holt have, but it's impacting his truck's ability to turn through the center of the corners, and that makes him have to use the wheel more, and it eats his tires up a lot more than he wants to. And that's just kind of where he is hurting right now, back to about a half a second, maybe 0.6 of a second behind Seth Berger now. He's really fallen off the pace, and I definitely believe it has everything to do with just that minor right front damage, because that is where you don't want it. that right front tire has to be protected, and you can see very loose off the turn there.
You got to watch this here. This is Randall Barnett. Last week had an incident with the race leader on fresh tires, working his way past the lead lap traffic. Here goes to the outside of Seth Berger. I'd imagine Seth understands that. It's going to give him plenty of room, and then Randall Barnett will be clear and on his way. James Gilliard is in the pit lane. Stutzman picks up a spot. Gilliard getting tires.
Yes, Stutzman's still up in front of these guys, but he's losing a lot of time, which tells me that Stutzman is saving as much fuel as he can for the end of this race. He is just barely in front of the leaders by, I think, just like one turn almost at this point. So, you know, if he's not careful before Seth Berger comes down, Stutzman could go a lap down here. But, you know, that's probably just part of Stutzman's game, saving as much fuel as he can so at the end of this run, he can really run it wide open and not have to worry about it. But then at that point, if these guys, Seth Berger and Greg Holt pit, will they be able to catch him before the end of the race?
That is still to find out. Now Seth Berger opens a 7/10 of a second advantage. One of the largest advantages he's had all day today. In the waning laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, coming around to 21 laps to go. Or it just took 21 laps to go, coming around to 20. Does Seth Berger have to pit again? We've heard that Greg Holt most likely has to pit again. Seth is unsure he has to pit again. And Stutzman may not have to pit again. But none of that is set in stone, of course.
Yeah, and with the amount of pressure that Greg Holt put on Seth Berger, I imagine that he is going to have to pit again. If he does make it to the end of this race, it is going to be one of the best fuel call strategies ever to win this championship, as we see Kyle Lingerfeld, who ran into trouble earlier in this race, got right side damage hitting the wall. He is now in the pit road, gets his stop done, and is away. But what we're keeping our eye on is those top two in the championship, Greg Holt and Seth Berger, when or if they will have to pit again. And this truck right here, Jeremiah Stutzman, who we think can make it to the end and not have to pit, but he is almost a lap down. Greg Holt is on pit road.
Greg Holt blinks first, the first stop out of the championship drivers. Now, the calculations in that camp for the 77, I know he's got Landon Lacey down in that Discord. They got to be crunchy the numbers. Does Seth have to pit? If he does have to pit, he's got to come down the next lap. If Seth can make it, he's got to save as much fuel as he can as they continue to do service here on the 3 truck of Greg Holt. He's getting 4 fresh tires, and Seth Berger is in.
Seth Berger is in on pit road. This is the call right here. No mistakes. You have to do it completely right. Do not speed. Do not slide the box. It looks like Greg Holt completes his stop. He's away. No issues for him. Here is Seth Berger taking his stop. Greg Holt coming off pit road now. Jeremiah Stutzman about a half a track in front of him.
So Jeremiah Stutzman, when he comes back around, should take the lead of this race in this championship. And he does. Jeremiah Stutzman is now the leader of this championship. Where does Greg Holt come out in relation to Seth Berger? Holt with a huge head of steam coming across the start-finish line. Seth Berger in turn 1 trying to get that truck up to speed without getting a penalty. Seth Berger had a faster pit lane time, but he pitted 1 lap later than Greg Holt. He passes the blue line there. Greg Holt with a huge head of steam. They're going to be going at it. Into turn 3, it looks like Seth Berger is ahead.
Seth Berger still ahead of Greg Holt. They've caught back up quite a bit, but a great call to get him in as quickly as possible, prevent him from losing the spot to Greg Holt. He's going to have to put up a defense, though. Greg Holt sends it to the inside of the 77. We know the 77 takes a while to start firing off in that truck, so he's really going to have to put up a defense here. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Greg Holt slides up in front of the 77.
Holt takes the spot and is now up in front of Seth Berger. They are still 8.5 seconds back of this very clean number 71 truck, just trying to save the fuel to make it to the end. Greg Holt now has to put up a brilliant defense on Seth Berger, and if Seth Berger has to also find that speed in that 77 truck as soon as possible as Greg Holt sets the fastest lap of the day.
Greg Cole letting it all hang out with a damaged truck, right front damage on that truck. You can see it, the right front fender sticking out just a bit, impacting the way the truck turns through the center of the turn. And he is really fighting it, but finding speed still. Seth Berger moves up a lane, trying to get clean air to the nose of the truck. They are trying to hunt down Jeremiah Stutzman. 6 seconds back from Jeremiah Stutzman is Greg Holt at this time. At this pace, they will catch him with about 5 laps to go.
Jeremiah Stutzman is a sitting duck at the front of this field. 5.5 seconds, and is being caught quickly by his championship competitors. Even if he can save the fuel, he's got to find pace now. He's got to stay in front of these two. Jeremiah Stutzman has got to pick up the pace if he's going to make it to the end and win this championship. Greg Holt is now under 5 seconds back of Jeremiah Stutzman, and he's now opened up half a second on Seth Berger. Andrew Carnari, the fourth. Final pit stops made for Greg Holt and Seth Berger. What's the sitch?
Really, they've just got to go catch a 71. And if you're Jeremiah Stutzman here, Emerson, as soon as those cars, trucks, catch you, you've got to come into the pit lane. As soon as they do, you got to save as much time as you can to hopefully sort out into a lucky dog position if a caution comes out. If you're Jeremiah Stutzman, though, you do want to wait on this yellow, do everything you can to kind of wait and hope that the strategy works out for you. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to make it. I think you've got to come in, get new tires now, and hope for a yellow. If you're sorted back there on a restart, maybe if you stay on the lead lap. But it's looking like if you're Jeremiah Stutzman, come in as soon as they pass you. Now, as far as the number 3 and the number 77, Greg Holt, we know he's got a great long-run truck. Heard you guys talking about it already. We've heard that from that camp. Seth Berger, though, may be a little bit of a cause for concern. Only a few more laps left, 10 or so. Looks like 11 this time by the line, or 12. I don't know if that truck is going to come in the way he needs it to. He's already dropped about a second back of the number 3. Time is running out. He's got to get something going quick. He has a long-run truck, not a short-run truck.
Thanks, Andrew, and that's true. We've been observing that all day long. Greg Holt is the first to fire off, then Seth kind of catches back up along the run. But is this run long enough as Greg Holt will pass Jeremiah Stutzman for the lead of the race and the championship? And Greg Holt now takes the lead. Seth Berger now looking to find his way up to the 71 truck. He gives way to Seth Berger. The gap is 0.8 of a second, 10 laps to go. Seth Berger has got to start closing that gap, and now he's got to close about 1/10 a lap and then find a way around the 3 truck if he's going to have any chance at taking this championship away.
Yeah, he's got to kid it now, and about 5 laps is when that truck fires off. That was 5 laps right there as they come across the line. You can see it on the screen. He's already closed about 0.2, and he's starting to close even more, now down to just above 0.7 of a second. He is really starting to get on it, trying to catch Greg Holt. He knows Greg Holt has damage. He knows that he was better on the last run than Greg Holt and was able to catch him and pass him. Can he do it? They're going to be really, really close as we get down to the nitty-gritty of this race. We are now under 9 laps to go.
9 laps to go from Atlanta. Seth closed a lot in 1 and 2, but he's got to close more, and he's got to keep that through 3 and 4 if he's going to have any shot. Now 7.5 of a second. And now Andrew Carnari IV has some more for us. Andrew, what's happening?
Big things developing for Seth Berger in the wrong way. On these short runs, that truck tends to overheat. Of course, you're in the throttle a little bit more. You're on the gas as much as you can be in these short run scenarios because the tires are good, they have grip, you can do so. Longer run, it starts to cool down, but right now he's having to fight the temperature, try and put the clutch in as much as he can without losing too much time to Greg Holt. He is catching it a little bit, but he's got to be careful and watch the oil temp. The oil temp is what he's watching. Water temp could go with it.
Thanks, Andrew, and major developments going on in the waning laps of the Outlaws Sim Series Gunman truck season. Seth Berger trying to close the gap. Now that's only half a second back to up the road to Greg Holt. Holt has now literally he's had his advantage halved in the past couple laps and continues to. Holt, what is his plan now if Seth catches him?
You got to force Seth on the inside. You cannot let the 77 truck get to the outside of you. We know that's the easier passing option, and we know that the outside can put up the big defense. Greg Holt knows that his teammate with a damaged truck was able to hold him off for multiple laps doing that. So if you are Greg Holt, you want to force the 77 to go under you. But with the speed that 77 truck has now, as he is closing rapidly on this 3 truck, does that 77 truck have that bottom lane ready to go to pass the 3 truck? That is the question. And is lap traffic going to factor in? We see a big gaggle of lap traffic right in front of these guys as they approach 5 laps to go this time around.
Lap traffic has to get out of the way. Kazi will move for Greg. We'll see if everyone else will try to do that. And will they give Seth the same respect if they're teammates to Greg Holt? 5 laps to go at Atlanta. Seth is there. Catching him is one thing, passing him is another.
Yep, and will these guys, there's loose trucks in front of them. Will these guys give away? Randall Barnett moves out of the way. They're too wide in front of the leaders now. Greg Holt sends it through the middle. Seth Berger sends it through the middle.
It is going to be one of those classic Atlanta finishes. Seth Berger is there. 4 laps to go from Hotlanta and for the championship. Here we go.
Yep, and Joseph Causey, the next truck up the road, Performance Sim Sports driver, teammate to Greg Holt, but was also taken out of the championship by his teammate Greg Holt. Does Joseph Causey factor into the championship? Does he move out of the way? The 77 truck of Berger pushing the 3 truck down the back straightaway. They go through 3 and 4 now. Joseph Causey, the next truck up the road. They're coming to 3 to go. 77 truck all over the back of the 3 truck.
Seth looks to the inside. Kazi's down there. What's going to happen here into 1? Kazi gets off the racetrack. Seth to the bottom side. 3 laps to go, and they're side by side for the championship.
Joseph Causey moved out of the way. Not going to be a roadblock today. Knows that he is out of it. Knows these 2 are battling for it. 77, the 3, all season long. Swift Racing and Performance Sim Sports have fought it out. Did a slugfest on the track to get wins and positions and force their way to this moment where it is Greg Holt versus Seth Berger for the championship. 2 laps to go, side by side.
Less than 3 miles to settle it. It is neck and neck for the championship. Greg Holt is sideways on the top side. Seth Berger gets the advantage on the inside. Near contact down the back straightaway. Seth will drive it into turn 3. Holt will drive it around the outside, side by side as they approach the white flag presented by Tucson Sound Art.
The final time in the Outlaws Sim Series, Gunman trucks, Seth Berger and Greg Holt take the white flag presented by Tucson Sound at turn 1, side by side. This is amazing racing for the championship. Seth Berger clips the apron. He's loose as they come off turn. Greg Holt is also sideways as they come off of turn 2.
It is going to be one of those fantastic Atlanta finishes. Into turn 3 and 4 for the final time. Holt drives it around the outside. Seth powers it up the inside. Here they come side by side out of turn 4. And to the line, it's going to be Greg Holt taking the Outlaws Sim Series Gunman Truck Championship by 19 one-thousandths of a second.
Greg Holt gets the win by 0.019 of a second over Seth Berger. An amazing finish to an amazing season. And oh my gosh, Emerson, that was a finish. That was the finish.
Folks, it does not get any better than that. For almost 100 laps, nearly 100 laps, we had side-by-side racing for the lead of the championship in the season finale. It does not get any better than this, and Greg Holt, with reason to celebrate his 5th race win on the season, but is also now coupled with the Outlaws' most winningest driver, is now a champion in the Outlaws Sim Series. Greg Holt, the 2021 Outlaws Sim Series Gunman Truck Series champion. Burn it down, brother. You deserve it.
A masterful drive and a masterful defense by the 3 truck today. He knew that Seth Berger was better than him on the long run. And having seen what Joseph Causey did to him earlier on the outside with the damaged truck, he knew that that was probably the best way to hold off the 77. And it came to fruition as the 3 truck was able to hold on and get the win here at Atlanta using the outside lane, forcing Seth Berger to take the inside. But man, what a recovery, what a race from Seth Berger, going to the back in the beginning of the race, having been involved in an incident with Joshua Gathright, and then driving his way back through the field to the lead, and then to battle it out and just miss on the championship. I mean, I know he's probably heartbroken, but it was a masterful drive from him all day long just to get back to have that shot to win it.
And normally we take a post-race break before we talk to our finisher, our podium finishers this Outlaw season. But before we even take our break, we have to get the raw emotions from Greg Holt, who got the job done tonight in phenomenal fashion. Greg, for nearly 100 laps, you have to go side by side with your toughest competition in the Outlaws Sim Series. Greg, how did you get it done?
Whew, I don't know, man. I was white knuckling the wheel for quite a while. I just I got a little bit lucky. I think that right front damage slowed us down there a little bit, but we were still quick enough. Just if there was another lap or two, I don't know if I'd have been held Seth off any longer. Just that outside line. Whew, holy crap, man, that's awesome.
78 laps led today, but most of them were not without contest. Early in the race, it looked like you were the dominant truck and you were getting ready to set sail. A couple cautions fall, and now you find yourself in the middle of the field. What's going through your mind now in the middle of the field behind Seth, having to go and try to chase your teammate down? All the while, this is going on for a championship. Plus, there's all these other people who are just here to race for a race win.
I was just trying to make sure I did not burn off the tires on that restart. I knew that we were quick. I knew that if we could, get back to the front, I knew it was going to be a pain in the ass to get by Causey. And then when we got there, I mean, I don't even know how many laps I sent side by side with him, but geez, it was fun when we did. The contact that we had, I don't know if I came up or he came down, or if we even, little netcode or whatever. I mean, feel horrible. I'm just glad that one of us got to bring it home at the end. But yeah, that was crazy. I was just trying to save the tires in that run. Get by, save the tires, because when we were out front, clear sailing, I think we were good. I mean, even at the end of the runs, we were stretching everybody, so whew.
Andrew Carnali IV, he came in here and he told us that it was absolute silence in that Discord when you and your teammate Joseph Causey were side by side for the lead of the race and the championship. What's going through your mind through all of that? Being it is your teammate, being it is a friend of yours, side by side for nearly 10, 15, 20 laps, lap after lap after lap, over and over again. What's that mindset like?
I was just concentrating, just trying to, we both are just trying to keep off from each other the whole time. I knew it was going to happen. Me and Causey had all these tracks. One of us will hog the outside and make the other one fight like there's no tomorrow to get by on the bottom. Yeah, I wish, I probably should have offered him a 12-pack or something, let me by, but he don't drink, and he wanted a championship too, so yeah, I was just, I was doing everything I could to stay off him, and I back off, and I get back in when I feel the car getting a little bit too loose, and just after all those laps, man, I don't know, I mean, it wasn't like it was pressing to get by, we were trying to give plenty of room, we just, like I said, at the end of the straightaway, I think we barely just come together, but yeah, I mean, we were just doing everything we could to keep it straight.
Right, and then the same thing happens with Seth, but with that you have to do 2 whole pit cycles while battling Seth. Obviously on the short run it seemed like you had the advantage, and on the long run he started to reel you in, and it looks like he even had more of an advantage on the long run over you. What was that like? Side by side with Seth all race, all that second half of the race, long as you battled him here in the Outlaw Sim Series now the last season and a half. And then the pit strategy to find your way ahead of Seth and fend him off there at the end. What's that like? And the mindset from your teammate to someone who's not a teammate of yours, and you're still going at it?
Yeah, well, when we came out with what, it was 50 to go when I pitted, and Seth pitted one lap after me. And when I came out, I was looking at the fuel, and I was like, all right, I just got to get in front of him. So I got in front of him, and then I started trying to save a little bit and let him catch me. And then when he got me, I was trying to make him use his fuel up because I had saved enough fuel where I was borderline being able to make it. And so in my mind, I was doing everything I could to push him deeper into the corners and then get out of the throttle myself and kind of roll. And then, I was watching and he's just running the same kind of times as what I was. And I was looking at the fuel and I was losing more and more of it. So I was like, you know what? I just got to pit. I got to pit before he does. And then I got to get by him and then not let him by. So that was it. I mean, it's a championship. Leaned on each other, a little bit. It didn't destroy each other. I mean, that's racing. It was good racing. The whole race was good racing. Honestly, I feel so bad about me and Kazi making the contact. But yeah, it was crazy. It was a ton of fun. Great amount of respect for all those guys.
Absolutely, and understandably so. The concern, making contact with a teammate for the championship like that. But Greg, here at Atlanta, the exhilarating fight and the enduring fight you have to put on today, along with now being the most winningest driver in the Outlaws Sim Series, what does this title mean to you? And I guess performance sim sport.
It means a lot. Everybody puts a lot of hard work into these things week in and week out. It just, and the competition in here is top notch. So it's what I look forward to. I look forward to this more than I do doing the open series. So yeah, it means a lot. It means the world. I mean, it's freaking awesome. They put on a great show. Adam does. You guys doing the broadcast. All the drivers. Everybody does a great job. It is a blast, and it really does. It means a lot. It's amazing.
Well, as a 5-time race winner and the 2021 Outlaws Sim Series Gunman Truck Champion, Greg Holt, congratulations for the final time this season. Give all your, the credit that you have to give to everyone. Shout out whoever you got to shout out. Thank you, to thank for getting the job done this season.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Adam for putting on the show. He does a great job, and everybody else that helps out. I'd like to thank you, Emerson, and your compadres and the broadcast. You guys all do a wonderful job. Like I said, I love coming back to watch it afterwards, which I'm going to go grab a couple of beers and watch this. Hopefully it can help me calm down from freaking... I'm all worked up now. Jesus. And shout out to everybody that's helped on the cars. Kazi, Ms. Scrotum, Andrew Schroeder, Garrett Velzy, Joshua Gathright. There's so many. I know I'm forgetting some, but they're just everybody that helps us out with them. I mean, it's great. Just a bunch of ragtag guys. Spend 2-3 hours before a race, set something up, and we're good to go.
Right on. Well, Greg, once again, congratulations on the championship, the 5th race win on the season, and all of that. The amazing show you put on. Thank you for the amazing show you put on this season and tonight. And yeah, once again, congratulations. Celebrate hard. Best luck to you. Should you return next season, and if not, whatever you do in the future, because it's been absolutely phenomenal to watch you just put the talents that you have on tap for everyone, and then go head to head as you did tonight to secure that title. Congratulations once again, and then yeah, go celebrate hard.
All right, thank you, and you know what I wanted to say to Adam, you getting Larry Mack to come on here, that's freaking amazing. That's all that we ever needed. That's freaking great, man. I don't see anybody else ever doing that. That's awesome. But thank you, Emerson. Woohoo!
Congrats, Greg. I just wanted to chime in, man, and just say congratulations on the drive. That was a masterful race. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you as well.
Right on. And that is, of course, your 2021 Outlaws Sim Series Gunman Truck Champion, Greg Holt, getting the job done tonight, leading 78 laps, and having to go side by side for over half the race. A phenomenal show was put on tonight, Devin. We have to go catch our breath. And on the far side of this break, we'll get to talk to the other championship competitors and more. Don't you go anywhere. The season finale at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Outlaws Sim Series Gunman Truck season was phenomenal. We'll recap it on the far side.
Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Welcome, race fans, back to the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're down to post-race coverage of the Outlaws Sim Series season finale here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It was a phenomenal race. If you're just tuning in, you missed an absolute amazing show. I don't know what you were doing, but you have to go and watch it back. But before that, we're going to hear from the second place, the runner-up finisher in tonight's season finale, Seth Berger. He's standing by with Devin Zimmerman.
Hey, Seth, this Devin in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
0.019 of a second between you and back-to-back championships. You gave it everything tonight and came up that short. I mean, that's just heartbreak. I can just feel the heartbreak. But man, what a drive for that 77 truck tonight.
Yeah, it was definitely an amazing drive. If I was able to come out with that there, I think that would have been the most impressive wins in championships ever. But yeah, man, that was a definitely great run. I'm very disappointed, but damn, that was pretty damn exciting. I hope everyone enjoyed watching that one.
Yeah, I mean, that just takes us back to some of the greatest Atlanta finishes to ever be in real life. I mean, one that came to mind immediately was Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick back in
First one in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a very similar time gap as well between them two. But that one wasn't for a championship, but this one was. And man, you ran into trouble early in the race and had to go all the way to the back with the EOL penalty, but drove it back through the race. Just kind of walk us through, that drive back through the field.
Yeah, I mean, I was doing really well at the start of the race. I mean, I was back at like 10th and was going up to 3rd, but no, skip that. I don't got anything nice to say about that. Yeah, that was the drive to the front was really great. It was definitely very hard to be patient. I don't know if anything was said on the stream, but last season I came into this track with a plan and it succeeded, and I came in with another plan tonight and almost succeeded again. But he was super fast. I knew it was going to be pretty tough to pull a tire save on the last run there. It was too short, and I know he was super fast on the short run, so I had to keep up with him enough, and I just didn't have enough tire to hold that bottom and get the run off. But yeah, man, patience was key, and I finally had some things go my way after that. Yeah, that was awesome. Congrats to Greg. Definitely deserved that. He's definitely one of the best setup makers. And I know we've had our run-ins and stuff, but I'm glad we were able to finish this one clean. I'd like to think he would have raced me clean if roles were reversed, but you never know. But again, great race. I'm very happy with it. Disappointed in the finishing second, but I'm glad it was a great finish. That's all that matters right now.
Yeah, it was an amazing finish, and I just wanted to touch on the setup that Swift Racing decided on tonight. It looked like it took about 5 laps for the truck to really start firing off and getting the speed back under it. Did that factor into the pit stop call? Did Holt pushing you through the turns on that run before the final pit stop, influence you not trying to stretch it? To make it to the end. Kind of talk to us about that a bit, if you will. Was there any decision at all to try and stretch it to the end, or was it always going to be pitting again? And with how long it takes for the setup to really come into its own, did that have any impact on when you pitted?
Yeah, the handling of the truck definitely took a little bit to come in. That was also driving style too. I mean, I definitely could have ran faster at the start of the runs, but you clearly saw how it helped me not hauling ass at the start of the runs. But I don't know if it really affected the pit stop choice, really. I think that was really just a game plan. I didn't want to lose a championship based off being in between strategies. I know there was talk about Jeremiah trying to make it all the way to the end, and I started looking at my fuel, and I was close, but I started losing more than a lap each lap of fuel, so I was just committed, man. I knew I had to commit to one game plan and commit to that, or else I was going to get stuck in the middle somewhere and probably not finish side by side for the championship.
Right. Yeah. I just wanted to touch on it because it was brought up in the race when we were looking at all the pits calls and everything, that might have been an opportunity. And Greg even mentioned it himself, saying that he was trying to push you to enter the turns a little harder on that run so that you would have to basically commit to the other pit stop. So I just wanted to touch on it there and get your reactions and all that. But man, it sucks to lose a championship, but for that much excitement and for that good of a drive back through the field, to even be there, to even get a chance to win it and go back to back, has to be some motivation for next season to come back and get it done. So for that, we'll give you the floor for one last time to thank whoever you got to thank, shout out whoever you got to shout out for this season. And yeah, man, congratulations again on such a great season and being there at the end.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I just got to thank all the sponsors, Flood Brothers, Mad Dogs, Trans Depot, and Liftworks. Really big thanks to Liftworks. They've sponsored this truck. They've also sponsored me in another league in SRN on Sundays. It's moving different days, but Liftworks has been a huge help. I've been working there lately too. They're great people there, and hopefully you guys could check out my Berg Arts on Instagram. It's on my spoiler. Finally got the photos back and do some editing, make a few video clips, and it'll be ready to launch. And last but not least, I just want to thank Burger Nation for watching every week. Thanks to Max Service, he's been a great teammate all season. You know, had a lot of fun with him. I wish he made this race, but well, obviously he did, but make the championship. But he's been a great teammate. Thanks to Lacey, he's been helping us with the setups lately. And yeah, once again, all of Burger Nation, thank you so much.
Well, we appreciate it, Seth. Thank you for your time. Congratulations again on us. You know, it didn't end the way you wanted it. You wanted to go back to back, but you still had a very successful season, getting all the way to the championship 4, and we look forward to having you do it again next season. Can't wait to see you back on track in the Outlaws Sim Series, my friend.
But thank you. I'm glad it was a pretty damn good show.
Right on, and that was driver of the number 77, Seth Berger, who came runner-up in the championship fight. And all of that, we forgot to mention, Jeremiah Stutzman came home with a third-place finish in the championship, 5th on the racetrack. Jeremiah, the attempted fuel strategy there, but it looked like there's just too many laps left on the table. What an effort, though, from it looked like a unfortunately struggling truck all day long. How did that strategy come about, and what could have made it work?
I don't think nothing was going to make that work, but they were the 18th place truck that got a top 5 somehow.
Well, I guess that's the bright side to look at it. Yeah, a great finish out of a truck that did struggle all day long. Jeremiah, now through those cautions, I know your brain is always racked with finding the best strategy out. When did you know you were going to be able to try to one-stop that final green flag run?
I honestly wasn't even sure if it was going to make it or not. But I was hoping for a caution or something to stay on the lead lap and have it one more chance at it.
Fair enough. It looked like it. I mean, just the way the Outlaws Sim Series go, those are really hard to come by. But somehow, some way, sometimes those happen. Jeremiah 5th on the track tonight with a struggling truck. It's been a hard-fought season. You got yourself a couple wins, though. I guess doubling the win total from last season, Jeremiah. Making the championship 4 once again. Coming home in the championship with a third-place finish. What does that, I guess, mean to you? Is that, I think, maybe where that 71 truck was all season long? Or how do you feel about the third-place finish to cap off the 2-win season you've had?
I think it's great. I didn't expect that. I think the top 3 was definitely them all year. I think me and Max, I think, would battle on probably for 4th and 5th. So I think I rather would have seen him in this race and see if he had a better chance at it. But it's what it is.
Everyone who makes the championship 4 is a legitimate championship contender. In my book, Jeremiah, you got here the hard way. You had to fight through all the rounds, and you were here to contend once again. I'd say still congratulations on making that championship 4, the 3rd place finish on the season, the 5th place finish tonight. Jeremiah, for the last time this season, we'll give the floor to shout out. Whoever got a shout out, thank you. Whoever got to thank for the 3rd place run tonight here. The 3rd place run on the season and the 5th place run tonight here at Atlanta.
Just thank you guys, Adam, everybody that makes this fun every week, and can't wait till next season.
Absolutely. Well, once again, Jeremiah Stutzman, 3rd place finisher on the season, 5th place finisher tonight here at Atlanta. Congratulations on making the championship 4, finishing 3rd in the championship. Best luck to you on the upcoming season, Jeremiah. And that was driver of the number 71, Jeremiah Stutzman, coming home 3rd in the championship. Devin Zimmerman is standing by with our 4th and final championship contender, Joseph Kazi.
Mr. Joseph Causey, this is Devin in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Heartbreak tonight is all I can say for for how your race went from the very beginning, the very first pit stop. It was reported that some issues on pit road, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. But in the middle of the race, it looked promising, but just was not to be tonight for you.
No, yeah, me and Greg made contact in the pits. I was following real close. I didn't know where exactly he was braking. You know, it's hard to see over these trucks and exactly know where you're at on pit road, you know, and try to figure out where they're at. So we weren't invisible yet to each other, and we made contact with each other there. And man, it sucks. We were running pretty decent, I think. You know, I feel like the whole time, Greg had the whole track figured out, to be honest. And I mean, I felt like the whole time I was just delaying the inevitable and just trying to run the high side so he couldn't pass me. You know, I told him, I was like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but this is all I got to try to see if I can win this thing, you know?
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that was a masterful defense. We talked about it on the broadcast, how the defense was working and how just pretty much just how well done it was to run the high side, force Greg to go under you, and then he was just not able to get clear. And were y'all ever worried during that run about Seth catching up to you? We saw that he was kind of gaining for a bit there, quite a bit, while y'all were battling side by side. It kind of evened out, but was there any worry in the back of the head that the 77 was catching you quite quick?
There was a little bit, and that's why, you know, I was kind of thinking, you know, right after it, you know, our contact had been made, and, you know, whatever happened to me at that point in time, that I was like, man, I kind of, like, you know, it was inside myself, you know, should I had just let him go and try to beat him off pits and then figure it out from there, you know? But, I mean, it is what it is, you know, it happens. Netcode happens all the time. We were slightly so close to each other, and the netcode just grabbed me and drug me in.
Yeah, it's such a bad thing that happens, and I mean, it's just part of the racing here on the sim, just like any other thing, you know, a cut tire or anything like that. Just can't predict it, and it just happens. So unfortunate that it happened in the championship race after such a strong performing truck in the 88 there. But man, it's got to be motivating to know how good of a season you had on the whole, and to, you know, think about to next season, you know, you can just pick up kind of where you left off and continue to hopefully, you know, dominate like you have been.
Yeah, definitely so. We're going to try to see what we can do next season and see where we'll be at, so we keep some of this momentum going this way, and see what next season brings forward to us and what exact car we're running and package and all that, what we're doing.
Well, yeah, when we figure all that out, of course, we're going to let everybody know. And yeah, we're all wondering here in the booth as well. It's definitely going to be exciting. And if it's anything like this season, it's definitely worth watching for sure. And I mean, even just to see the great racing, especially that happened tonight between you and your teammate for almost, it seemed like 20, 30 laps side by side for the championship, and neither one of you giving an inch, but it was just good racing.
And the great Atlanta finish that y'all got, that must have been great. I've been trying to get to that point to go look at it, but man, it must have been great. You know, this track, you know, we are getting the new one. Hopefully we get we keep the legacy version of this track, because I mean, it produces great racing.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'll tell you now, it was 0.019 of a second between Greg and Seth at the line. So we were talking to Seth, and I brought up that it reminded me of the Jeff Gordon, Kevin Harvick finish back in 2001 when Harvick got his first win in Cup Series.
Or the Jeff Gordon Labonte, man.
Yeah, or that one too. They're just amazing finishes that this track always seems to produce, and I love having this track as the final track. It was the perfect choice to do the championship race here. and man, it produced some of the best racing of the season. And I am so heartbroken for you, but it just amped me up at the amazing racing. It just kind of summed up the whole season of the amazing drivers that we have in this series.
It definitely did. We have some great drivers here, and no doubt about it.
Well, we're going to go ahead and give you the final time here, Joseph. Let you thank whoever you got to thank, shout out whoever you got to shout out for the final time this season in Outlaw Sim Series until we see you again in next season.
Thank everybody that got to watch at home. Thank Whiplash Media. Thank freaking Outlaw Sim Series. Thank Pitstop TV. Thank Emerson in the booth. Thank freaking Devin in the booth as well. Thank all y'all and Andrew going around, popping in and out everywhere. Thank my teammates, man. Freaking Greg and them. Freaking we were practicing up right before this thing rolled off, and man, freaking it felt great till till it get killed. But all in all, all's well. But it was a great race. Glad to end it off.
Well, we thank you very much, Joseph. We'll go ahead and let you get back down to your team there. And we're going to close this thing off, Emerson.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, that was Joseph Causey, who came home 4th in the championship tonight, but a valiant effort at that with his damaged race truck to hold off. I mean, he even said delaying the inevitable, but to hold off a hard-charging Greg Holt with a less, I guess, wounded truck at that time. And then they made contact. Unfortunately, that's how it came to a close for Joseph Causey's night. But what a race. I mean, 100 laps of very tight, highly contested championship racing action, side by side for a majority of it, Devin. I don't think it gets much better than that. Let's go through, of course, how everyone else came to the line. I know we focused a lot on the championship drivers tonight. Greg Holt and Seth Berg. I think with the reasoning that they were just side by side all the time, and it came down to a 19 1,000th of a second margin. Greg Holt taking it over Seth Berger. Seth Fitzpatrick comes home in third, 9.3 seconds back, trying to fend off a hard-charging Andrew Pratt, who's trying to get his second podium of the season. Andrew Pratt comes home 4th. Jeremiah Stutzman hangs on, falling down the running order to finish 5th. Max Service has a charge back up to 6th. Devin Smith, last week's winner, comes home in the 7th position. James Gilliard will come home in 8th. Kyle Lingerfeld, the last truck on the lead lap, in 9th. And Andrew St. Cure up in the 10th position. Andrew? Devin?
Yeah, and then 11th, we get Joshua Landfox, 1 lap down. Joseph Causey, we just talked to him, 12th, 3 laps down. Randall Barnett, he comes home 13th, 4 laps down. Eric Peck, 4 laps down in 14th. Doug Solms, who ran into early troubles here, takes it home 10 laps down in 15th, never giving up. Jason Miz, this is where we start to get to the guys who decided to call it quits throughout parts of the race. Jason Miz not finishing the race, finishing 57 laps down in 16th. Matthew Setzer, our pole sitter, not able to finish the race. He comes home 78 laps down in 17th. Tyler Markle getting involved in an incident. He comes home 82 laps down in 18th. Same with Garrett Velzy, 82 laps down in 19th. John Mickey comes home 106 laps down in 20th. And then we go to 21st, which is Joshua Gathright, 131 laps down. He was taken out in the incident with Seth Berger. His truck not able to get going anymore, so he called it quits. Matt Rogers called it quits early after a couple of incidents, 138 laps down in 22nd. Benjamin Park had some issues. He messaged me during the race saying that he almost took out the entire field. We didn't catch that on the broadcast, but instead of taking out the field, it seems like he took out himself. He comes home there, and then behind him, I didn't get to see who the name was there, but that would round out the final standings.
It was Landon Lacey. He didn't come to really race. I think he just came to practice a little bit, and he was there to support Seth throughout the evening. So that was who was, I guess, score 24. But Landon Lacey did not take the green flag in tonight's race. But Devin, about tonight's race, I don't think. I mean, you can say, like, for the first time in how many years, since the 1970s, Formula One had their title fight come down come to a tie entering the final race. And I know, with this format, that's obviously going to be guaranteed. But I mean, my goodness, the action, the race it produced, the track, the venue being the Atlanta Motor Speedway at this configuration. I don't want to see it go, man. I mean, the race that we got tonight, I don't know how you make it any better.
There's definitely mixed feelings about Atlanta being repaved and redone. The new banking that's going to be put here at Atlanta, they're increasing the banking in both turns. They're also repaving completely. So there's going to be fresh new pavement, very grippy pavement being put down here at Atlanta. A lot of people don't want to see this track go, though. It's been a fan favorite for many years. It has a character all of its own. You heard Larry Mack say in the opener that, even though it's a 1.5-mile quad oval, it's very unique in the way that it drives from any other quad oval or oval that's on the schedule. Atlanta's just different from any other track. And it has so much character in this track that a lot of people are just upset to see it go, but it is going away, and we're going to get a brand new Atlanta. We'll have to see what that one does, if it can produce the similar racing that we've seen throughout the years here at Atlanta. I mean, we've seen some amazing finishes. I mean, we just talked about a couple: the Gordon Harvick finish, the Gordon Labonte finish, and then the finish here tonight, 0.019 of a second to determine who was the league champion of this series, of this season of Outlaw Sim Series. And it doesn't get any better. And this track just continues to produce and produce and produce great, amazing racing.
Absolutely. I got to drive this track on Sunday. Granted, that was a cup car, but I mean, I was honestly, it was such a blast. Even being, a back marker to middle of the pack, it was such a blast to drive this place. And then I come to Wednesday's race, and I get to just witness a great spectacle from green flag to checkered flag. I was in awe of just the racing we got. So many laps on end with such amazing drivers. And honestly, 165 laps, I mean, it was the perfect length, I think, for a championship race. But wow, I mean, I guess I am entertained, but man, I want more now.
Yeah, it's hard to leave an exciting race off like that. We want more and more and more, but unfortunately, that's it for this season. Outlaw Sim Series is now done for just before the holidays here, and we'll pick it up again and take it on as we get into the next season of Outlaw Sim Series, and we still have a car to decide on that hasn't been decided yet. What car these guys are going to be driving? The schedule again is going to be picked, and if this season's is any indication, no matter what car is picked, the caliber of drivers, the racing that we've seen is still going to be there. These guys put on a show each and every week, and it's only going to get better. I mean, these guys, I can't think of a better, more exciting series on ovals that I've seen lately than what we saw tonight.
Absolutely. And all of this, of course, isn't possible without all of our amazing partners here at Pit Stop TV, like Tucson Sound Art. Your picture, your music. Use code PITSTOPTV at checkout for 10% off of your wall-mounted sound art device today. Pit Stop TV broadcasts are brought to you by Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. You deserve the best care that money can buy. By Whiplash Media, the official graphic and camera provider of Pit Stop TV. And of course, BAM Racing Videos, by a race fan, for the racing community. And of course, at the season's end, there's just so much that goes into an Outlaw Sim Series season. Even though last season was 36 races and this season was 22 races, the load of work, I think, was pretty equivalent. I don't know why, it just feels like that maybe. But honestly, I just can't thank the Outlaw Sim Series drivers for making it exciting each and every week. I can't thank Adam Gardner enough for giving us the opportunity to put on such a great show each and every week. And he hosts these sessions each and every week, and gathers all these drivers to put on this amazing show. and Adam Gardner, for taking the chance on me back in 2018 to come and broadcast this series and ultimately give me my start in broadcasting. Then I come over to iRacing. I can't thank Andrew Cardinale IV. I can't thank him any more than what I've already thanked him. He's just an amazing person who's helped me grow as a broadcaster, and took the chance to bring on the Outlaws Sim Series to Pit Stop TV after their inaugural season, back in at the end of 2020 and beginning of this year in 2021. Took them on this season with their Gunman truck season, the open setup trucks, and it was a phenomenal season. I don't think there was a dull race at all this season out of all 22. And again, I can't thank Adam Gardner and Andrew Cardinale IV enough for putting us in this position to put on an amazing show every single Wednesday night. Devin, I can't thank you enough for joining me along with this ride. You were supposed to last season, and then of course personal stuff came up, but we were able to reconvene and get you here for this season, and man, what a ride it's been.
What a ride indeed. I mean, I'm so glad I'm able to get back in the booth, and I appreciate you inviting me back to the booth after the issues that I had, personal issues, family issues going on, but I'm back in the booth now, and I couldn't have been treated to a more perfect return than to see the season that unfolded before us, the drama throughout the season, the run-ins, and just the overall amazing racing that we saw from each and every one of these drivers, from the guys who, ran into trouble a lot and had issues. They continued to show up and hope for the best and, put their best foot forward every single week. And we can't, we can't say enough to the drivers of this league. Thank you all for the show you put on. Without the great driving that you guys do, Emerson and I would be pressed for what to say here in the booth. So extend my gratitude to the amazing racing that we get to see each and every week. Even more thank you to Adam Gardner. He puts on an amazing series. Very, very respectful racing, very respectful drivers, very great drivers that he has in this series. And it is always a blast to work with him and to work with you, Emerson. I can't, it just works with such harmony in the booth with you each and every week. It's so easy to just pick up where we left off last season when I had to step out and come right back in and just have the instant karma or chemistry that we had at the beginning of last season.
Absolutely. With that being said, the Outlaws season has come to a close, but there's still more on Pit Stop TV. Tomorrow night, the North American Racing League heads up to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America for their season finale of their GT3 series in their second season in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. It's one of my personal favorite road courses. Absolutely love it. The straights promote amazing slipstream battles. The heavy braking zones offer many overtaking opportunities throughout the lap. And I couldn't think of a better venue for a season finale for those GT3 cars. Tomorrow night, 9:15 p.m. Eastern. You won't want to miss it. Sunday night, you can see the newer Watkins Glen, the updated Watkins Glen in that picture, the Superior Class Auto Racing Series with their GT1 cars. Sunday night, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, will go up to upstate New York and take on Watkins Glen International. It'll be quite the show there. I cannot wait to see those GT1 cars in action at the updated Watkins Glen International. The fresh repave, the new curbing, the yellow and red curbing you see on the screen. It's going to be a great show. And then Monday night, the BRP iRacing Series takes their dirt big blocks to Lakeland, Florida's USA International Speedway for their 7th race of the season, 8 p.m. Eastern. You won't want to miss that as well, Devin. This later races, 3 amazing venues. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing racing. I mean, the finale there of the North American Racing League, Road America, again, you said, an amazing track. It is great for setting up passes, promotes some decent racing every single time we've seen a race there. So that will definitely be one to catch. Watkins Glen, the brand new rescanned Watkins Glen, updated to this most current year. So you get to see the runoff, and and all the new curbings, and it's going to be just amazing to see these GT1 cars get around that new rescan of Watkins Glen. And then USA Speedway there, no longer in existence. It's a track that no longer exists, but these exist on the sim, and these guys get to go around and sling some dirt in the BRP series there. And you can catch all of this on the social media sites for Pit Stop TV. You can catch us on, excuse me there. Yeah, you can catch us on Facebook at Pit Stop TV. You can catch us on, it went away from the screen there at the bottom, but you can catch us on Instagram at pit_stop_TV and Twitter at pit_stop_TV. And then YouTube, of course, at /C/pitstoptv1. And then also you can catch us on Twitch, Emerson.
Absolutely. Our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV. And man, I still need to take a breather from that amazing race we had tonight. The amazing races coming up are also going to be great spectacles. Another season finale tomorrow night. You won't want to miss that tomorrow night. If you love championship racing action tomorrow night, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, with the GT3 cars in the North American Racing League in their second GT3 season. Don't miss it tomorrow night at 9:15 p.m. Eastern. What a show that will be as well. What a show we had tonight, Devin. And once again, I just cannot thank everyone enough for putting myself in this position to broadcast such amazing racing. Again, thanks to Adam Gardner, Andrew Carnali IV, and everyone who's joined us in the booth this season. To Jacob Zala, to João Paulo Costa, to Vincent Cortez on social media earlier this season. Of course, Andrew Carnali IV for jumping in whenever need be and whenever he'd like it, and doing the amazing graphics and the amazing B-roll that you see on your screen right now. And Devin Zimmerman, my longtime co-commentator this season. Thank you all for all the hard work you put on this season to help bring this series to life once again, and being by my side. And of course, Adam Gardner for giving us this opportunity, getting me into broadcasting in the first place back in 2018, and then Andrew for continuing that. And yeah, that's going to do it from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're happy to have had you all here tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For all at Pit Stop TV, Devin Zimmerman, alongside me on the mic and on the call this evening, Andrew Cardinale IV, busy working up and down the pit lane, getting all the late-breaking stories from all the teams throughout the evening tonight. My name is Emerson Arden. I want to wish you all a very happy holidays. You'll stay safe. If it's cold where you are, it should be cold anyway. It's winter, but stay cool. I know it's warm. It's hot. It was hot for me today. If it's still hot for you, stay cool. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for the North American Racing League GT3 season finale at Road America, or the next Outlaws Sim Series season, sure to be coming up in the near future. Good night, everyone.